We're back with another episode of the All About Counter-Strike podcast. It's episode 54. Our last episode was the 4-hour special All About MOUZ, which was a lot of fun for me and Devilwalk to film. I'm going to get us through this early bits nice and quick because we got a lot to cover in today's episode. It's been a while that we haven't covered the news, Pro League, what's going on in the world of Counter-Strike. So It is the 15th of March, 2026. It is 10:47 for me, which means it is 11:47 for Devilwalk in the evening. ESL Pro League is finished and done. We're going to be covering that. We've got a lot of the recent news, some rumors, different things happening with tournament organizers. Then we'll be getting into some of the other smaller events going on for VRS, like Roman Imperium Cup, what Liquid's been doing there, what BC Games been doing there, Liquid in general, just where they're at right now. And then we'll be doing a Blast Open Rotterdam preview. Then, as always, our Q&A, our questions from the Discord, which you guys can always send in. Remember, you can do that. Join the Discord. It's down in the description below. You can send your questions in, anything that you want to ask. We even ask.
It doesn't matter if you post questions, straight after you watch this episode, or in 5 days, or in a week, or 2 weeks. We will cover them.
Oh yes, we're just going through them. Whatever comes your way. It doesn't even have to be about Counter-Strike. Anything is possible, despite it being called All About Counter-Strike. We just do answer random questions at times. But Devilwalk, what have you been up to these last, obviously, since we did the MOUZ podcast? We didn't do a check-in, so it's been a while since.
It's been a while since we even. I mean, the last time we spoke, I just told you randomly that I bought you Bear Bells chocolate bars.
Wait, don't say chocolate bars, protein bars. Protein bars, to be clear.
But they are chocolate bars as well.
And also, you can't say you bought them for me because
it was my girlfriend. Yes.
Yeah, your missus remembered how much I love them.
I stole the credit. Yes.
Yeah,
I did steal the credit. That. It wasn't me.
I guarantee you just came home and she said, I got these.
Relayed the information to her and she took action.
That was it. See, there's the facts coming out. Because there's no way you walked into a shop and went, oh yeah, Banks really likes these. I'm going to buy these for him.
No.
Yeah, didn't think so. See, actually, girlfriend, top tier, Devilwalk, low tier. This is where we're going with it. So, yeah, what have you been up to, man? What have you been up to these last couple of weeks?
Well, I mean, before we started recording, I actually told you, but I'll tell you again. I've been playing some Deadlock, actually, with Anders. On Fire Anders. And we've been talking EPL, CS, all kind of whimsical stuff, as one does with Anders.
And Anders' conversation can go very far left field as well. Not podcast safe at all. So I can imagine the deep dives you were going in.
Yeah, even Vince has joined in on a couple of games. So it's been kind of cool to catch up a little bit with those guys. And we had a good time. Did
you get back to a good level of grind? Are they capable players like you? Or were you carrying?
I mean, I'm still kind of... It was like almost a year ago I played last. So it's been a while for me. So I've kind of been...
I don't think it's been a year. You've definitely been playing before that.
Well, okay, it was in October. October last year.
That's not a year, bro.
Last time I touched the game, okay? But it's still like a big patch. They changed a lot of things. I think six new characters.
Okay.
So, and they've changed a lot of things on the map and stuff, and new items. So there's been a lot of information for me to kind of grasp into. And it is a very high skill ceiling game.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, I wouldn't say I cared at all. I think now lately I've been playing more my old characters than I have been carrying.
Okay.
I had a game where I had 24 kills, 0 deaths, and 22 assists.
Boy, you were involved in everything then. You were actually cooking. So the CS grind has stopped then for now, I'm guessing.
Yeah, for now. It's actually been more of a gym grind even for me. I've been starting to go to the gym.
Bloody hell.
For the past 2 weeks. I've only been there 4 times, but
was your nephew taking you tomorrow? Or you've now gone on your own?
I've gone on my own. Completely on my own. So
you're really cooking.
2 times everything. I went with my nephew, and after that I've gone 2 times on my own, and the third one is coming up tomorrow. Which I've been deciding. I've been making, or my girlfriend, my top tier girlfriend, has been making some protein shakes, smoothie variants with cottage cheese and protein powder.
Smart choices. Definitely very good.
So with berries and milk, very delicious. I kind of drink those in the morning, try to get healthy, try to, get my mood up in these dark, depressing times in Sweden.
Bro, your country sucks in terms of that, like, wintertime moments as well. I don't know how you guys survive it. It's crazy.
I don't know either. But
how much light are you having at the moment?
Now it's pretty good, I think.
Okay, we're getting better.
Yeah, we have a few hours a day, so it's fine.
A few hours a day.
No, but it's getting better. It's getting to the springtime, and once we hit summer, I mean, it's 24/7. So we'll stack some up for the winter.
Then you can't get rid of it. Then you're just there with it the whole time. See,
and what you been up to? I've seen some pictures of you baby prepping a lot. Is that kind of the main?
Yeah, like I'll tell you this. As of Tuesday, when this episode will probably release on Monday, but as of Tuesday it'll be 40 weeks, which is like when it's supposed to come. I'll just tell you, we're at the point where hurry up and come. I'm done waiting. Yeah. Like I want to see baby arrive now and get to that point. That would be nice. You want
to get to the point where you're playing games and you have to lose all the elo because you're a leaver and have to take care of the baby.
I won't be queuing them first few weeks, that's for sure. There won't be any of that. That's not going to be possible. It's not even an option. But yeah, just a lot of baby prep, watching some Counter-Strike, wife sleeping, doing odd bits and stuff. Did commentate a lot of Dragon Ball. Did find myself being like, so obviously we spoke many times on the podcast already.
I saw your tweet, right? It was, let me actually get it up here. So you said that you blessed to announce this to the world or something.
Dude, this was like crazy. This? So I was the first
I watched this video and I was like, when is Banks coming?
Oh no! So that's just I announced it on a live stream. So I didn't send you a link of the live stream. I just pushed out what was there. They just put the launch video out, the cinematic video afterwards.
Okay.
But we've been doing the commentary for the official
broadcast. I was waiting for like Banks with all these,
no,
Dragon Ball Z characters just like floating down. It's like, oh, it's live.
Well, I'll tell you this. This is what's crazy is like, I had to sign NDA because obviously we have to think Counter-Strike's massive, in an esport. But Dragon Ball is a worldwide 40-year anime franchise,
Yep.
So its global appeal is everywhere. So like we're just covering the esports tournament, Squadra Blast. We're watching it go down. By the way, Squadra Blast has nothing to do with Blast the TO. Like it's just the name of the tournament that Bandai Namco put together for the game.
Yep.
But I was just covering that. Obviously, I played this game since the day it came out. I played the betas, the alphas. I love this game. I spoke about it on the podcast many times. I got you to play the game with me, right? So
we played.
It's a MOBA. I'm chilling on it. I'm enjoying it. I get the offer to commentate, and obviously I'm not doing CS at the moment because the baby's arriving, so I could do this all from home. I agreed. And then they hit me and they're like, on the North American broadcast, we're going to reveal the next 3 characters for the game. And we want you to be like announcing it and revealing it. And I'm thinking, oh my, like, because this is then something that transcends the normal set of people watching, like this transcends anything. Like this is a casual audience and just a massive Dragon Ball fan base as well. It was hype as hell. Like, and plus we signed an NDA. We knew the characters were coming, but we were never shown the video before. So we didn't know how good the characters were going to be. Like we knew the names of the characters, which 3 were going to be: Super Saiyan God Vegeta and Goku, then Majin Buu, which would be Kid Buu for everyone else in the normal world, but it's like the pure version of him. And dude, the cinematic was crazy. Obviously, you watched it.
Pure version means
it's like when he's in his final form, Kid Buu. Okay. So he's not like good Buu. He's not fat Buu, whatever you want to call him. He's not Buu when he's just taken in Gohan. So yeah, this is like the pure evil kind of form of Buu. Like this is him at his best. Anyway, we do that announcement. It was crazy for me. Like as a fan of Dragon Ball, that's like this is equivalent of like a CS major to like announcing characters in a Dragon Ball game. These are on the same par for me.
Is it like if you were the announcer for a completely new map for CS?
Yeah, like something like that. Something definitely that'd be the same thing. Obviously, we never get the opportunity, right? These things just happen. Valve just push it out. But yeah, kind of on par with that, right? So it was crazy. It was really good. I had a lot of fun doing it. Obviously, it's just a game I enjoy, so it was super easy to do. And other than that, I've just been watching EPL, so nothing else too much to talk about, to go on about. We'll start covering on EPL. So obviously, there was the stage 1, stage 2 in the online. We already said this, that online you would get some crazy results in there, right? Because it is online Counter-Strike, and that's kind of how things happen. If we just look down what we ended up in getting the LAN finals, obviously Legacy making it through is a positive for these guys with Art there. Astralis made it through as well. The big notable names missing was Furia and G2. When I say notable names, I'm not going to say Falcons and Vitality. They chose not to attend the whole event, so that doesn't count as them missing from the LAN finals. So we'll do our normal, right? We'll review each team. Some of these teams, there's not too, like, we'll start with Monte because they're out in 16th place, right? But like their run through the stage 1 very quickly, nothing in too much into the results. They lose to Astralis, they beat NRG, Heroic, and they beat PARIVISION. Like, that is super solid, yeah? Then they come into the main part of the stage 2 where there's all the big names. They lose to NAVi, but did push NAVi. Obviously, NAVi get revenge against them. They lose to Legacy, and then they lose to FaZe. I will say that Monte's still a super exciting team, kind of another team that's on the rise and on the up. I think, like, obviously it's going to suck for them, but I feel like still from this Monte we're seeing is like, this is another team that is on the up, and as other teams continue to make so many mistakes, Monte is in a position where I feel like if they can keep this team together, if they don't lose Gizmy, if they don't lose Gizmy, this up and coming IGL, then they can be on the right tracks to making some dents into the scene.
Yeah, I mean, good showing. Good. I mean, for them just to making it to stage 2 was impressive enough. Taking a map off of NAVi, playing some close maps. Even I mean, they probably could have won against FaZe even in that 0-2 matchup. So it wasn't like they were embarrassed and kind of thrown out. Obviously, that's probably what people are gonna see in the results. But
it's just they didn't watch the games.
Yeah, it's not really what happened, right? They did a good kind of first debut for this caliber of a tournament, I think.
Yeah, because Bounty doesn't really count as much, right? Because it's just them best of 1 elimination games. We should actually, because obviously through stage 1, some names that missed out there. Liquid was embarrassing. Nip was embarrassing. PARIVISION, I'm not going to say is embarrassing because I don't know.
They played a ton, by the way.
Yeah, but maybe I'm like being biased for them. But like in Krakow, they already said they were super tired, right? And this is a new experience for them from going from winning Bounty into Krakow. Then they get second place at Cluj-Napoca. And then they're basically on boot camp in Cluj-Napoca, going straight into ESL Pro League, back to online. Yeah. So they're playing in their house and in Serbia. And then they beat Semperfi, they beat Pain, but then they lose to Legacy, Monte, and Heroic. Losing to Heroic with a stand-in is pretty rough. But I'll just say, this is PARIVISION right now where they just dead inside. You know, they're knackered. They're tired. Like, it's tough for them. I can give them a pass on an online ESL Pro League. Like, it doesn't bother me that they didn't make it far. I'm not running any alarm bells for these guys.
No.
Like,
I think you're on the right track. I think they just played way too much.
I saw some people really overreacting to it. Like, I don't know what it is, but why are people always with PARIVISION, like after the Bounty win, they won't win anything because obviously what happened at Krakow. And then they get second place at Cluj. And now everyone's like, but they did so badly ESL Pro League. It's like, these guys are going through a hell of a lot of stuff right now. Like, they need time to refine and work on things and adjust.
I don't want to make it political, but I think it's a little bit of hate watching. You know, because they are Russians, you're going to automatically receive a little bit more hate if you do badly. So I think that has, a part in it. But
that's fair.
I'm with you though. I think it's just like a weird transition to kind of go through where you've played massively, online, grinded your team up. You finally get the opportunity. You take and grab that opportunity so well. And then finally you go home. And when you get home, for people who don't really attend a lot of events, don't go to a lot of tournaments, what happens when you actually come home is destruction of self in a way. You've been to so many events that there's a huge recovery period when you come home from these events. Your body goes into this like safe space mode. You get sick.
They've had no time to reset and chill. None.
Yeah. So I think it's like also a learning period for some of these young players also to get that feeling of getting back home, and you have to still perform.
Yeah. Only James is the one with experience of it, a bit on his way as well, but he's still very fresh, right? He's still a rookie in a sense. Also, in 15th to 16th, same as Monte, was Heroic. I'm surprised Heroic even made it through to stage 2. Like, this is still a team without an AWPer, with youngsters standing in. Yes, they're getting many more reps. Yes, they ended up winning Draculand Season 5, beating 100 Thieves in the final. But, I mean, they 2-0'd NRG. Then they got 2-0'd by Astralis and Monte. Then they 2-0'd Passion. 2-0'd PARIVISION. Was close, crazy game. Then they only lost 2-1 to MOUZ, 2-1 to FUT, and 2-1 to Furia. Furia, FUT, and MOUZ. Like, that's tough. And this is a team who, like, I was basically writing off. I was thinking there is nothing good that can come for this poor Heroic lineup who's just going to keep bleeding VRS points because they don't know as themselves when Alcaren's coming back or what the hell's happening or if he's going to get his visa. And obviously they still don't know what's going on. So, like, all in all, Heroic's like, they're going to feel bad because they're competitors and they want to win. But it's like, this is a pretty legit run, all things considered.
Yeah, I think... It's kind of weird for me. I mean, we'll probably go into this later on as well. I feel like they probably should just pick up another offer at this point. It's bleeding their entire season dry. Because them being all this close without having a set offer, not knowing, just having that, cloud in your mind that you don't know what's going on, when things are going to happen, is disruptive to the entire environment for this team. So weird they didn't maybe look at Hedrick.
True, but it's a bit late for that now.
Yeah.
And maybe Hedrick himself isn't too interested in international offers. Because obviously
maybe, but he's fine with English.
No, he definitely is. He's played on NIP. He's had his chances there. He knows what it is, but it depends on his own comfort. But yeah, actually, this is a good point. Maybe Heroic should just say, sorry, Alcaren, like, time to look for someone else. This is getting stupid now. But maybe themselves, right? Maybe it's not Alcaren who's made the problem. So maybe Heroic are the issue in terms of the organization. And then they are probably thinking, we need to try and fix this, Like, we don't just
but
scrap the player.
At some point, you have to cut your losses and just say, this is too important. Because, I mean, they've pretty much been in a spot where they can guarantee themselves a major spot. And to throw away it, or to potentially throw it away from not knowing you have a fucking 5th player is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's too much, on the line.
It's kind of painful.
Yeah.
It is kind of painful. That's for sure. Next team we've got to look at is Bait. Obviously, Sizzy now has... Do you know what's sad about this Bait team? Is like, they start off with a 2-1 win over Furia. Yeah? So that got me excited. And then they beat Spirit on Mirage 13-4. And it's like, Sizzy, who I was hyping up, wasn't even the one who's a factor on that. It was Kenzazor, who, remember, Kenzazor was someone I was always positive about.
Yep.
So then they lose to Spirit, then they lose to NAVi, then they lose to FUT. Now, for me, FUT is where they should have put up more of a challenge. We should be seeing some more from them. But it still seems to me now that even when you're getting this new player in, and this buys them time, right, for Sizzy to get comfortable, first tier 1 events and stuff, but it is online. That is a big thing. I'll say that maybe this comes down to the system they're working within, how they are playing with each other. Obviously, Alex is still in his rookie year of being an IGL since he's been given over that. But it's like, for me, Bait are also in a situation where their own expectations are higher and they are dropping down so far because of these.
But they're dropping fucking fast as well. They're dropping really quickly. I mean, we can look back at just January rankings. They were 9th in VRS. This is January 19th. We're now in March, and they're looking like they're 28th within the next kind of rank update.
Yeah.
They've lost like, what is it, 19 spots in 2 months.
It's tough. It's real tough.
So, I mean, they're now on the cusp of not even being in contention. Well, they're still in contention, but I mean, looking at the trend,
they got to do real good at BLAST to open Rotterdam, and they're opening games against NAVi.
But they're at least looking like they might miss out on a lot of these invites that they could have done well on. You know,
definitely
could have picked up a lot of points.
Definitely.
So I'd be a little bit worried if I was a bait fan.
Yeah, I'm worried for him, definitely, because just the decision making and what's going on with it all.
Yeah.
For FaZe next, FaZe ending 12th to 14th. Obviously, FaZe didn't have to play through stage 1. Opening game against G2. Now, what is crazy here is they got 13 wand on Dust 2, their pick. They did have a better Ancient. There was some fight in them, but getting 13 wand is damn rough. We were hearing some of the voice comms and stuff as well, like them kind of trying to laugh him through it. And the problem is now, we used to always say like FaZe was bad online. This doesn't matter anymore because this is like, they must perform well. They have like, I don't care what players you've got on your team. It's not like now it's not acceptable. Now there is nothing good about this. You then lose 2-1 to Pain, you beat Monte, and then you lose to Astralis.
But I'm not even sure. Like, okay, we can if we remove the major from the equation, can we even say that they've been good on LAN?
Outside of the major, no. And it just bought them time and bought them points. And now they're even signing up for these VRS event because they want to sustain their points, right? They want to put themselves in a better situation. They're lucky they have invites, and it all comes off the back of the major and that crazy second place run they had. And that is just carrying them through this. And like, I don't want to be a stats guy.
The problem is, right? Correct me if I'm wrong here. I might be wrong here. Do the points from the one major last to the next?
I don't know if they last to the next, but some of them will last a long way towards it. I'm not informed enough on understanding VRS. This should be a you analyst, man.
Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure. I think that the decay is pretty much on length with a major. That the point decay carries you through the invites where you should pick up the points to qualify. That's my assumption on this. I might be like, maybe a viewer has a better idea of the decay. I'm not an expert.
We'll ask Mischief.
Yeah. But so my assumption is if they cannot start picking up some of these points, FaZe, how much are they going to drop? Because they're continuously losing matches. I mean, they have one of the worst win rate out of any team in Tier 1. You can look at last 3 months, they have a 25% win rate. I just looked down the list of the names that they beat. Okay, EPL, they beat Monte. They lost to Astralis, Pain, and G2. Cluj-Napoca, they won against Heroic. Lost to Falcons, PARIVISION, Astralis. Krakow, they lost to MOUZ, 3D Max, and won against BC Game. Blast Bounty, lost to Eyeballers. That's their season.
Yeah.
They have 3 wins picked up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games. They have 3 wins.
Yeah.
That's
it's really bad.
Horrific.
And also, the only one, like people are giving, I think Twist put something on social media about like taking a break from social media, which is probably a smart thing given your situation. But it's like the only one performing in any high standard is Frozen. Twist can have a good game every now and again, but it's not even like, it's not top level Twist. Jacob, that I know, like we said, or they said, sorry, that the way Jacob performs in practice, you know, like we're now seeing it in the officials. Well, it hasn't happened since after the major. I don't believe in this anymore. Brokey's also not in a good spot. It's like there's obviously rumors, and we'll get into that when we get to the news as well. But a player change is needed. A player change is a must. I don't know who it is that goes. If it's Brokey, if it's Jacob, it has to be one of those two. Because this is not like, this is an organization that's supposed to be contending for playoffs, contending for trophies, but that's a long, long time ago right now. And everyone else is passing them.
We're viewing a future, a possible future ahead that could mean that the major finalist is could not even make the major. That's a possibility. I think Mischief even, put something out. They were on like a 50% or something like that.
Which isn't too bad, but that's why they go into these smaller events, right? To make sure they can lock themselves in with it all.
Yeah, but it's still FaZe on a flip of a coin to make the major, who was the major finalist. The points, it's probably the only points they have, because I mean the LAN wins, I don't know how much they've lost and how much will be recalibrated into, this machinery of VRS that might even make them lose more points once it's calibrated. Yeah, it's just a horrendous situation. And I agree with you. Something needs to change. They need to change probably the AWPer and probably another rifler. But the big thing for me is they need to change 2 players, because otherwise I'm a big believer that you'll carry on the baggage you had if you change 1. So I think there needs to be a grander overhaul of the FaZe roster for them to find success. And if they change 2, they have a reasonable chance to salvage the situation. But it obviously, it will cost money to get the quality that they want into this. And is FaZe willing to do that gamble now? Or will they look at a more, free agent basis idea after a potential major qualification with this roster? That's the problem. I think they're going the second route. And I think that's
how they normally do things. That's how they normally do things as well. So
but I think it's going to be an issue.
A big issue. Very big issue. Next in the same position as FaZe, 12th to 14th, was Pain. So Pain ended up losing to MongolZ. I will say that game, though, was pretty entertaining. Pain have this pocket pick right now of Nuke. They couldn't get the Nuke over the line. It did go to overtime against MongolZ, but like Nuke is kind of their go-to. It even went to overtime twice. They went Nuke overtime and Dust to overtime against FaZe. They did end up beating FaZe in the end 13-5 on Mirage. Then they lost to Aurora and they lost to Furia. Considering how bad their year was looking, this is a positive, because they're on the other side of it, right? It's like the VSM Imperio edition was so negative at the beginning. They've been boot camping constantly in Europe, not going back home, just grinding away. I'm seeing improvements. I'm saying that there is more positives here for Pain, but they're still miles away from where they want to be or where we would have had them this time last year. Yeah. It's a very different conversation. In a year, so much has changed. But this wasn't bad. This wasn't the worst case scenario. They still had fight in them. They could have easily beaten MongolZ on that opening game. They had a chance for it. So I'm not going to be super negative on them.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look down the list of teams that obviously is in the stage 2, Spirit, MOUZ, Aurora, Legacy, MongolZ, Astralis, FUT, NAVi, Furia, G2, 3D Max, FaZe, Bait, Heroic, Monte. Like, there's not that many teams that you're going to be able to just roll over as a kind of newly created squad. So I agree with you as well that we've seen improvements. There is something there. It obviously needs to pick up a little bit more if they want to be competitive in these tournaments and fight for their place. But they're not getting worse, and that's a big up sign, So considering the expectations for me for Pain, I think it's meh, but fine.
Yeah. That's a very good way of summing it up.
Yeah.
3D Max. 3D Max, we obviously spoke about the changes they went through, right? So Gravity is no longer IGL. Maka is back to IGL. Masuta's now in the team. Body is gone. And assistance coach is MBK helping out with all his experience. And they told me back at Collusion Poker they needed experience in there. So they got through stage 1 just about. They beat Semperfi, Gaming Gladiators, and Liquid. Nothing to be proud of. Like, these are all teams they should be beating. Then they lose the Spirit opening game. No shame in that. They beat Furia, they beat FUT. My attention was grabbed, especially beating FUT. Because I thought FUT would... The problem I feel like when you have 3D Max and FUT going against each other, by the way, it's a big clash of styles. Because the randomness of 3D Max and the firepower of FUT is like... It's hard for FUT to get a read of. It's hard for Krebeni to call around. And it can be a tough matchup for him. It's the way that FUT lost as well just wasn't pretty. Then they lose to MongolZ, and then they have the 2-2 game to NAVi, and they still took a map from NAVi. So
I think
it was an ugly game, by the way. This was one of those games where even as a NAVi fan, I wanted to sleep. Like every game was dominant, and it was like, what am I watching? I'm just watching quick maps. It wasn't an exciting series. It wasn't one of these. If people look at this and go, "Oh, it was 2-1," it was not an exciting 2-1.
It's like if you've watched a lot of Counter-Strike, you just look at the scoreline, you see how the teams are playing, and say it's already over. I might as well not watch it.
It was just like so fast, dominant scoreline, dominant. I was like, guys, just someone win correctly, please, or like someone make this competitive.
But I will say I am hugely impressed with 3D Max. I think they've solved a lot of their problems. I think the one thing for me, we've talked about this multiple times on the podcast, right? Where who is going to pick up the fragging department, And they went with MOUZ in this lineup change, which was a huge gamble. We didn't really know, he obviously played with FUT guys previously, so he's kind of had some shape to him and played
he's
decently well. Like he played pretty good with those guys. So maybe not a massive gamble in that sense, but a gamble.
And he's still young, but he also has some experience behind him.
Yeah, and I think they found someone that has a little bit of that X factor that can bring them, some star power into this lineup now. We're going to have that occasional Maka, even though he's the IGL, but just having him randomly pop off, even if he's IGLing. Because we've seen that it's not going to be a thing for Maka, even if he's not IGLing, that he's constantly going to do it. It's just going to happen.
It didn't free him up.
In a while.
It didn't free him up enough to be like the star AWPer.
Yeah. So I think if MOUZ can deliver these performances he's done, they get a little bit more reps. They have MBK to kind of help them as well with adjusting in the game to get a better sense of when they get red and when they are not, to change up their playstyle. I think there's some potential here. I might be calling it a little bit too early.
We've said this before.
And I still trust my theory in never trusting 3D Max. But I am still impressed. I think what they did with this new change if I was a 3D Max fan, I would have hope now. I would see there's some light at the end of the tunnel. And before it was just pitch black. There was no, it wasn't, I don't know, the tunnel was broken.
But look at this, right? So Gravity obviously is now not on the IGL. There was a time when he first came to 3D Max where everyone was hyped about what this guy can deliver.
Yeah.
Can he now bring himself back up into that? Can we now see? Because for me, he's going to be the first one looked at in like, you need to deliver again or you need to step up again. Or there's going to be more asked of him now. He's not going to get the same cushioning as Maka got.
No. I mean, he had 12 maps. He had a 0.93 rating. He was the worst player in 3D Max throughout the tournament of Stage 2. With Lucky, second worst, 0.95. But if we look at like MOUZ, he had a 113 rating over 12 maps. It's actually one of the better players. Like in the top echelon at least of players in the tournament. So I think that in itself, gives you some hope that if one player more can step up, they have a chance.
Yeah.
And for Gravity, I would give him more time to kind of
I'm not judging by one event.
Get out of the IGL brain.
I'm not judging him by one event, but I'm just thinking like he's now going to have this extra pressure on, you're not IGL anymore. We're going to ask this of you. You're going to be, and that time will come quick to him. That time will come around very quick. The pressure is kind of now on him to perform back to what they wanted from him before he was IGL and to just be stable and good. And it's probably the worst position for him to be in. I think he will have some time, probably till maybe after the major or something. But the thing that's clear is 3D Max have bigger ambitions than where they're at. And they want to go further. They want to be a team that can lift trophies. All teams want this, by the way. But some teams actively try and make the changes to move forward and make that happen. Others are kind of, we're doing good. We're in top 4, top 6. We'll take that. 3D Max are yet to break through and get to that. They were once a team of always on playoffs and being in a good spot. But now that's kind of few and far between. We're never really seeing that. So obviously the last major was a big heartbreak for them as well. So we can see why they're making these changes. But all eyes on Gravity going forward for 3D Max, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty terrible position to be in as a player, to kind of go for, we talked about this previously with Twist going in and out of IGL brain. When is he coming back to being himself again? And it is, you're kind of putting yourself on the shopping block. Like, you're going to be the next guy out if you don't start performing. I'll still give him a little bit of time and breathing room and see the positives of 3D Max for now. But it's definitely on kind of a clock ticking at that point.
And it's also just what's now going to be decided based on the fact that he's already been moved away from IGL. Obviously, MBK's come in, different vision, different ideas, different understanding, all agreeing on things. Maybe he'll have more time than what we're saying. But I mean, you can see it be an easy target now if he doesn't come back into shape.
But I think in general, 3D Max has stopped the bleeding like other teams kind of have failed to do. If you compare it to like a FaZe or a Bait in that matter, I think that they've kind of mellowed out because of these performances where they've still picked up wins. They're not.
They didn't start just tanking.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They made the changes at the right time. To stop the bleeding, because I think that the trajectory they were heading was way lower
than what their rank is. Yeah. Another one, and by the way, our next two teams who end up in 9th to 11th, they're kind of sitting in a weird spot when we talk about them. We'll start with G2. Now, G2, they almost didn't make it through stage 1 of the online stage, right? They had to play NIP for that final spot. They beat Gaming Gladiators, M80, and then NIP. Basically, they lost to Legacy and Pain. They should be beating those teams. And they found themselves in a very rough spot with an EPL. Okay, then they make it. Stage 2, start off with a win against FaZe. Then they beat NAVi. They're up 2-0. I'm thinking, okay, they're good. Like, this is the Krakow performance G2. Even though it's online, they're doing well. They do have a really tough run because then they hit Spirit, Aurora, and FUT. They lose to FUT 2-1 in the last game. And I'll say that, those games were close because they dominated FUT on Mirage 13-4. And then it was 13-11, 13-11, G2 making some mistakes. But obviously we then did learn, and we'll talk about this later in the show, that this was the last event for G2 MOUZ and things are changing. So it gives them a get out of jail free card. But this is still pretty horrendous in terms of G2 as an organization, was always deep in majors, having opportunities, it's a long way since the Monte and Nico days.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a tournament. You look at the kind of overall macro picture of this tournament. There's no vitality. There's an extra spot to kind of grab. And we look at the teams who kind of grabbed it. It was Legacy, FUT, Astralis, probably teams that G2 consider themselves we should be above these guys. We should be doing better than these guys. But they are the ones that end up, outperforming them in this one. I will say a little bit though, the matches they had is pretty rough tougher ones.
Yeah.
If we just look at the overall tournament, 2 finalists, and they had FaZe in the opening. Can always be a little bit of a coin flip what FaZe you get. Recently not, but
it's not amazing.
NAVi, Spirit, Aurora, and FUT are really, really strong and difficult matchups. So give them a little bit of pass for that, but they should be disappointed, and it is a disaster for G2 as an organization to not make this playoff.
Yeah, so, and especially considering what we put on them after Krakow, and then also not making Cluj playoffs when there was more teams that could make it to playoffs. There was 8 slots there compared to the 6 at Krakow. So they've got the get out of jail free card. They are making a player change. So, make of it what you will.
We'll see.
But then the other weird one is Furia. So Furia, okay, so there's 2 ways of doing this. They either gamed the system, and they are actually geniuses, because they said if we make playoffs, Fallen can't play because he's got a prior commitment that he had to go to. Cool. Okay, no problem with that.
But just put that out. We're 2-2. Let's throw it out there. Throw it out there. Media guys, work your hardest. What's your best excuse?
Was it at 2-2?
Yeah.
I will say he did have a prior engagement though, because my wife talks with his wife, and they were like, she saw the posts of what they were doing. So it wasn't. I'm pretty sure, thing.
Like after they beat Furia, the news post came out on HLTV.
Okay.
I mean, Pain. Yeah.
Okay, so it was around that time. Yeah, I didn't know on the timing of it, but I will say for Furia, you lose to Bait opening game, you then lose to 3D Max, you beat Heroic, you beat Pain, and then you lose to Astralis. You should be beating Bait, you should be beating 3D Max, you should be beating Astralis.
Yeah.
And even with knowing that Fallen's not going to be there, you still had the full team. So it's rough. It's not great. You just lost some online games as well. But it still throws it up in the air a little bit of where this team is at right now. Because I could easily quite happily say that next event, they'll just roll on in and they'll make deep run, and then they'll be, and we'll be saying a different thing again.
The one thing I'll say is, like, if we just look at Furia and how, let's say, even when the roster changed, how bad Furia were, and how a rocket kind of trajectory they went on to, maybe it was too big of a trajectory for them to kind of handle, in a sense, consistency-wise. They peaked, and they got really good really fast.
Okay.
So my worry is a little bit, are we starting to see, cracks appear in this Furia lineup a little bit? I'm not like big red flags. I'm just saying maybe the question is, are they a top 3 team in the world? Or are they more of a 5 to 8th team in the world?
Right now,
that's
5
the
to 8.
question. Yeah, that's the question I'm throwing out there.
And also, like, if you see this thing where they were saying, even when they were playing well on some maps, they were making position changes, role changes, to try and stay ahead of things.
Yeah, so they haven't figured out everything.
How much do you buy into that, though? Like, is that an excuse and you're doing something for no reason? Do you need to make those kind of moves if it was good performances up until them? Like, their Mirage did improve, but then other maps dropped. Like, this is the same thing we see for many teams.
So usually when you make these kind of changes, it's either caused by, individual frustrations.
Mm-hmm.
That's mostly, I would say, the biggest part of why you make these changes is to make sure that some players enjoy their time playing the game, or you just see they're increasingly frustrated, and that will overall fold over to the rest of the team during officials, etc. So you're just trying to make someone happy by changing positions and making sure, okay, is everyone fine with this?
Mm-hmm.
And working with that. It might change a few things in what you do and how you set up and how the communication wise, but you try to fix that, right? That's like one of the biggest things of why you make these changes. Just to make people happy. The other thing is, if a coach, let's say, just identifies communication issues, and it's a, like you'd say, nuke outside yard is a big example. You want someone that both can take kills but also communicates very well. And this is like a rare kind of combination of skill. That's why we see a lot of IGLs sometimes being put on the outside yard nuke area, because they will take safe kills and they will communicate efficiently for the team when rotations happen. If you have a lack of that, you will change position, because it's structurally better to have the communication for consistency rather than the kills.
Perfect example of what you just said, right? Nico outside as a player, we know how vocal he is. Like, it's never going to be a problem. Where Kioski would want that role, or you'd want him in that role, but his communication's not going to be there
either. Yeah. So, like, it's sometimes based on communication issues. And you can't change people. You can't sometimes, even if I tell you communicate, it's not something that will happen by me just telling you to do it.
Yeah, it needs to be a bit natural as well.
Yeah.
So I think for Furia, not making it is not great, but it also, both Jizu and Furia are kind of on the excuse camp overall. And then that does give us our 8 final teams that we get here at the LAN portion of the event. And it's MongolZ, Legacy, MOUZ, Spirit, FUT, Astralis, Aurora, and NAVi. Now, I will say this. Finally, we got EPL back on LAN. The Swedish crowd was amazing. There was a huge amount of Mongolian supporters. By the way, Mongolian people, you show up everywhere. Like, it literally is now just... There are so many people who are not looking like Mongolian people, definitely looking Swedish with a Mongolian flag. Cheer it. Like, MongolZ has like the most broad range of fans.
It's
every
easy
place
to love,
we go
man.
to. Yeah,
easy to love.
Super easy team to support and love and cheer for, right? They've always got that in their back pocket with it. And it's just nice to see. But I will say, the way this arena was done,
pay your taxes,
bro. That was it's harsh though because we don't know what's going on.
Chant, like highest taxes in the world, like pay your taxes.
Oh, dude, that's a whole other thing. That's and also he's gonna have more taxes to pay now after the win as well. Alexi's gonna have to deal with that at the same time.
Congratulations, Finnish government.
Yeah, you're also winning.
You're the winner here
from this every single time. It's rough. It's real rough. But I will just say, right, the arena was cool. It was done in a very nice way. They had like a very intimate setup, a chill setup, but it was the best EPL finals we could have in a long time in terms of being in an arena and having all this done. I already saw Mark Wimfer. He tweeted. I'm just going to make sure I read the tweet out. So he said, dun, 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 felt amazing getting ESL Pro League back into the arena setting with an audience. No more online play or studio LAN playoffs. Going forward, all our tournaments conclude with stage and audience. Thanks, Stockholm. See you, Katowice, for the next one. So it's great because that means we're getting the best at EPL. We are going back to the glory days of EPL, which has been missing for so long. So I'm very happy with all this. This is a step in the right direction. So we'll start talking down the teams that made it to the playoffs. For MongolZ, they had a really good Stage 2 online. Pain 2-0, Aurora 2-0. The Aurora game, actually, I feel like it was like a control game had from MongolZ. Like, I wasn't really ever worried by it. They lose to MOUZ for the 3-0 spot. They got 13-1 on Ancient. Ancient's normally a good map for MongolZ as well. And then they 2-1 3D Max. Losing Ancient again, so it seems like the Ancient might have fallen off because they were picking Ancient and still dropping to it. But then they faced NAVi, and NAVi pick Ancient against them, despite MongolZ previously wanting to pick it. NAVi win that. And then they 13-4 them on Mirage, which is a pick of MongolZ.
That's a big one, though.
Yeah, this is it. Like, this is like a MongolZ speciality.
Yes, this is like MongolZ bread and butter, man. This is...
Yeah. And Cobra Zero is the only one stepping up in that game, by the way. And he's not used to these stages or anything like that. Like, he's still brand new going through it all. So I'm critical.
It obviously came off a massive performance from Makazze.
Yes, he was feasting, but he was feasting all event long. We'll get into that later as well. But I'm not sad for MongolZ because they've always had some. If I think of the history between MongolZ and
but I'm honestly
NAVi,
impressed with MongolZ this tournament. Like, I think they did better than I expected.
Okay, well, you didn't have them going playoffs?
Well, I mean, I didn't have them going 3-1.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And but this is I'm not doubting Mara anymore. I already apologized, man. I can't do it. Mara's legit.
I'm still holding on to what I said in the beginning of the year, that I think that MongolZ will be more of a hovering around 10th in the world.
Fair. I think they can still break a top 5, top 6 before we get to the major. I feel like this is a MongolZ with that capability. I feel like they can be there and pushing further. They're still going to struggle getting to arenas. They're still going to struggle in some playoff games. They always have. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Cobra Zero. And all it takes is in some of these games where you get the 9-10 performance, the Mazzino performance, even a blitz or like anyone can drop knowledge and kills like crazy on that team.
Yes, but there has to be that one guy that's always there.
Yeah. And that has always been the problem for the Mongols, though. That has always been the problem for them.
I mean, not always.
Senzu?
Yeah.
He wasn't always there in playoff games.
Pretty consistent.
Yeah, okay. Very consistent until playoffs. I'll give you that. Very consistent until playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his only suffering moment. But okay, so Mongols we're still positive about. Obviously going out in quarters, it's not the end of the world.
No.
The other side of things though is this legacy performance. We said when we heard about Art coming that this way of Art calling would suit these players so well.
But it's also the other way around. The players suit Art perfectly as well. It's like his old Furia back, you know, in some sense. You know, he gets the perfect way. It's like they have all the riflers just going ham, you know, and it's not like the other players like, oh, Art, you went too aggressive. It's like they're also aggressive. They're like, they love it.
They're actually like, can we go more aggressive? Can we push further?
Art, we played a little bit too passive this round.
And it's actually like still a super fast round coming out. Like, look at the run they had, by the way. 2-1 Ninjas, 2-0 G2, 2-0 PARIVISION. They lose to Aurora, and they beat Monte. They beat Astralis. They beat NAVi. Yeah, like
they've doubled the amount of wins FaZe have this entire year in this tournament.
Yeah. The problem is, like, they could have easily had a better chance against Aurora had they just played a little bit more decisively in some rounds. Because people will look at the scoreline of this Aurora Legacy game. Now, Aurora was the better team, right? And Magic did have a life game. Magic out of nowhere was popping off. Like,
it was like a rematch as well.
Yes, and a rematch as well. But it's like Aurora for Legacy is a great team to go up against, yeah? Because it's going to be brawly. It's going to be, you know, Aurora sticking together. You haven't got to worry about the lurk. We're going to go straight heads up into it. And I just felt like there were some rounds, you know, remember the legacy of like clutch ability? That wasn't here for them this time, you know? If they'd had that opportunity, because it was 4 clutches total, 3 clutches won for Aurora and Dust 2. What was Overpass looking like? Not many clutches in that. That was more definitive.
I feel like it's always going to be legacies, both like win condition and downfall, in the same sense that you're going to get them when they're playing the style. Sometimes they're just not going to show up. Sometimes it's not clicking for them, and you're going to see a flat performance. But every once in a while, they're just going to drive that momentum all the way home. That's the legacy we're going to get. You're never, ever going to know which one is going to wake up today. And that's kind of why they are so good to watch, why they're so exciting to watch, because they're going to try to be crazy anyways. And sometimes it's just going to look like shit.
Yeah. I'll also just say that for them, this is great VRS. This is great for Art's bounce back. Like, there is so many positives in here.
Insane for them.
Yeah, so many positives in here for them. So for Legacy, even going out in the quarters, you still challenged Aurora. You still put up a good game. And you're now still a team where people will be scared facing you. Like,
they went up 7 spots. So they're ranked 16th now.
Yeah.
According to this. Might have lost a few points, but 88 VRS points. That's insane.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
The biggest earners, by the way.
Biggest earners. Next one. Now, this is... So when I saw there's no Falcons and there's no Vitality, I looked at Spirit and MOUZ and said, this is your tournament to win. Yeah?
Yep.
MOUZ lose in the quarters to FUT. Now, there's a bit of history here. If you remember the Cluj and Poker game they had against each other, that was that crazy game where FUT should have won Overpass, but MOUZ had like a crazy run. I don't even know what the score was.
It was when they were rotating on Overpass and stepping and a bit too quick and
giving away positions, making noise. So anyway, we get this rematch again, but this time it's FUT's first arena. Yeah. So, by the way, MOUZ are also always guaranteed to go semis. They can do the quarter game, but it's the semis is where it gets tough, right? Dude, this is Brolan on a home field. He's in Sweden. This is his crowd, yeah? Did you see he was crying at the end of it? He was so disheartened by that loss. And I'll just say this. MOUZ never had a better opportunity when there's no Vitality, no Falcons, to have a glorious run and go through this bracket and have a chance of going for another EPL title and, gaining some confidence. It's not bad about losing to FUT because FUT's obviously, we keep praising how good FUT are playing, right?
You know what the crazy part is? The Swedish Prime Minister was there. Or previous Prime Minister.
Are you going to try and say the Swedish Prime Minister added more pressure to Brolin?
Yeah.
He actually said something to him like, I will lower your taxes if you win.
Yeah, something along those lines. And he lost that opportunity. That's why it hurt so much.
And that's why it gave. But look, we're so critical on many teams. This is now where I need to be critical of MOUZ, that you didn't make a change in the last offseason. You, at EPL finals, had a great chance to go the distance. This has to be, something has to change. I've heard from Cyclone, okay, I'm going to keep these 5 young players. They've still got a lot to give. We're all learning. No, you guys have the experience. You've been there. You've gone deep. They've had some trophy lifts. Not the biggest trophy lifts, but they've had trophy lifts, right? This was devastating. This was rough.
I have a completely different opinion than yours.
Do. Why? How can you?
So first of all, I think that people look at MOUZ sports like people have looked at Spurs in football
for personal for you.
10 years plus, 15, 20, whatever. So I actually think that
MOUZ... You're wrong, by the way. I wouldn't call MOUZ dog shit. I would call Spurs dog shit.
Okay, but either way, we move on. They are dog shit right now. You get a point for that. But I think like this, right? I think that if MOUZ were in an era where Vitality didn't exist, they'd be picking up trophies. They'd be winning events. They'd be one of the top teams that we
not against Falcons, not against Spirit.
I still think that they would pick up trophies. They went into finals. I think they would have multiple ones. Either way,
I can't agree with this.
I don't give a shit. It's my time to speak.
There's no way.
So I think that we're being way too harsh on MOUZ sports. I remember a team that's called Astralis that were in this exact same position as MOUZ for years and years, never winning shit, always being 4th place, and they eventually cracked the code and went to the top. They kind of outlived their opponents. They kept the same lineup and eventually got there by almost, just existing together without blowing up when the other teams eventually did. And that's when they kind of took the reign, took the spot, took the throne, and became one of the best Counter-Strike teams that we've ever seen. And I think that potential still exists in MOUZ. Now, if I think Vitality is going to blow up all of a sudden and give MOUZ the throne, no, maybe not in the next 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
But I still think there's something there that it's so close. It's not much. There's a few percentiles that they need to be able to push themselves up. And this is the first time we see them fall in a quarterfinals. For us to be bashing them for one quarterfinal finish out of all that they've done, I think is way too harsh. It's out of line. I think it's just piling on this narrative of aura-less MOUZ. And I would like to defend them. No, I'm not saying you said that, but the kind of narrative around the community.
I'm countering you here though, because
okay, that's fair.
When you can have your Astralis or whatever, right? There was pieces on that team where they could have this moment or they could be a star. Yeah, they just want. If one player wants to leave and they get another one, that's the only missing piece, right? Yeah, the magic for Kirby. You see, even Kirby got himself the major, right? So we can't knock him. Yeah, you can't even use that as one. But I'm just looking at it as I feel like it's not about Brolin numbers or individual level, but we're believing him as the IGL. But he does his best work, I feel like, when he wasn't IGL. And he might not be Torzi is more of a voice in that team and he's more of the hype man. Yeah. Roland may be the IGL. He might be following Cyclone's plan, but he's not doing the same work as like what Shuhei was doing. Obviously, they had their fallout all that time ago. I just feel like MOUZ are always saying they're aiming for trophies. That's what they want to do, right? They want to win these big events. They want to win the grand finals. They want to overcome all of this. They need one more change. There has to be a change, and it has to be looking at IGL. I can't see it right now with this. Like, I understand what you're trying to push and the narrative you're trying to say. Stick together, wait for this to happen. But I still feel like there's way more other teams that will step over them if this vitality does crumble, if this other thing happens. There's too many ifs and buts with it compared to the 5 players I'm looking at right now.
So if we're looking at IGL, so for me, there's only 2 possible changes you can make in this lineup.
Yep.
It's Surgeon or Brolan, if you look at that route.
True, I'd agree. They're the 2 I would agree with. They're the exact 2 I would agree with. And also, we still have to put in the back foot that for some reason, every player break, the rumors from very valuable sources is that Jimfat's going to be the one that goes and he still stays. This has happened since Shanghai Major. No, but it's happened since the Shanghai Major that people have come out. Bro, this was, first of all, we found out it was pushed by like his agent or whatever. Then it's like, he was potentially going to Falcons and didn't.
Yeah, but that would be this most
conversation again and again.
Unintelligent move from MOUZ.
It wouldn't be good. I'm not saying the move's good, but it might be good for Yimfat. But
maybe.
But what we have to look at honestly here is one of those 2. I'm glad you said Xerxen as well because I left him off. My focus was on Brolan.
Yeah, but I think like this, right? I think that if you remove the IGL mantle from Brolan, he can step up in the role that Xerxen currently has. I think that he was a sneaky kind of entry fragger, took a lot of space, was a playmaker. He always has been. He has that in his kind of, pedigree or toolbox, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
So I think that
then we're talking about going back to not IGLing for another player.
Yes. Remove. we need to. What do you call it when back in the days, like hospitals was like drill a hole in the head of people that were mentally ill.
Great.
That has a name. Don't you know it?
Hole in the head? I don't know. No, I don't know.
Okay, let's drop this conversation. Someone in the comments can defend me right now. Like either way, this is like a medical procedure they did that people that were crazy.
Yeah.
Either way, I was just trying to make a reference for that for the IGL brain. That was all I was trying to do. I went too far with Banks. He didn't understand.
Yeah, this is.
Are you googling it now?
Yeah, it's called trepanation.
Yeah, trepanation. We need trepanation for IGL brains.
Mate, you're going back a long, long time ago. Though.
No, I think they did it in like 1800s.
That's crazy.
I think even here we had a.
I'm so glad we've advanced. I'm so glad we've advanced past all this stuff. This is crazy.
He's crazy. Drill a hole in his head.
Yeah. So I just want to look at this for the MOUZ team, right? I still think they're one change. We can disagree on this. We're both entitled to our opinions. But I can't see what you're seeing. I don't see what you're seeing because it's been so long now. And it's not about just this quarterfinals performance. I just feel like EPL is events they've won. The EPL is where they've had success. They know what this is like.
All MOUZ players needs is a hug. Go back on the stage, play a game, and they'll break it. I think they have it in them. I do.
Okay. I'm just mega disappointed by it. Not that they lost the FUT, but just that they didn't have they were one of the tournament favorites to do it. But I will say this, I'm more disappointed in our next team, Spirit. Yes, Spirit went 3-0 online, beat 3D Max, beat Bait, beat G2. None of these are particularly good teams at the moment in current form. They lost to Astralis, and we can talk about this all day. People said Fuzi life gamed.
Dude, Spirit was not even fucking in the server. This is like an overextension of the scoreline. I watched this. The 13-6 on Dust 2, that's for me a 13-2, 13-3 win for Astralis. Spirit was never on the fucking... They were never on the server. They were completely dominated.
But Astralis can't play Dust 2.
The same fucking thing. Spirit didn't fucking join that server. They were not in there. Not at all.
Here you go. I'm going to hit you with this take then. Yeah? Yes, Spirit have Donk. one of the best players to ever play the game, yeah? A phenom player. But I'm just going to say this right now. We put Magix into IGL role. We're expecting God's work to happen here. Maybe after Tinir's not playing well, he's fallen off, yeah? Zwei fell off when he got to Spirit, and you're putting all this focus on this system, everything around Donk. Maybe there's a problem with the system now. Maybe it's not the IGL. Maybe it's not the support player. Maybe it's not as way. Like, maybe Hallie, because we've praised Hallie. We have roasted other coaches for a lot less. Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe this system that we're trying to push right now isn't working. Like
it's not suited for the players you have.
Yeah. But you've chosen these players. Your Spirit, you can have any player within the CIS region with no problem at all. You've got Donk. He attracts people to your team. Yeah?
Yeah.
And they blame Chopper. He goes. They got rid of Zwei. He goes. You know? Like, you've now dropped out in the quarters to Astralis in this fashion where you could
there's a bigger list of players they've kind of thrown out in the mud in this system than that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about since the successful times.
Yeah.
You know? Because like the Zontix one doesn't count as a move because like, obviously his was like a health related thing. But like, if you're not getting the best out of these players, where Tinir was great on Heroic, Zwei is now great on PARIVISION, there might be more to it than you're trying to just give Donk everything. And it's like something has to give here. You need to have a look back at things because let's look at Spirit's
like
results.
The way that this Dust 2 and Ancient played out from Astralis, it's clear. It's kind of like this, right? You know when we had an interview with Hooksy?
Yeah.
You know he's gonna prep. You know he's gonna, make sure that the way you play your system is uncomfortable for you. And it's clear that it was uncomfortable for Donk and the rest of the players playing against this Astralis. They were continuously being annoying, not letting them play that slow default, not getting the ground that they usually want. They were in their face. They wanted to trade down and kind of get into these XVX situations and man advantage situations. And it was clear to me that Spirit wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
Is it a systematic failure, or is it like you're not prepared for them to know your system? It's almost like that. It's almost like they're shocked they know what they're doing. They've been doing the same shit for ages.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I just feel like, is the prep are they not ballsy enough to throw in a couple of wrenches in there to change it up a little bit in the beginning to make sure that maybe Astralis gets on the wrong foot, countering the wrong thing,
Yeah, throw him off.
Yeah, throw him off a little bit. Something that we praise Vitality for,
just
complex,
the
but
random,
so simple at times where they just run a face it round,
Well, the random Apex calls that he pulls in from 2014 out of nowhere.
And they do it at the right time, but that's missing in this Spirit.
But don't you think Magix is going to have a hard time doing that? Like, new IGL to take it, like, he's not going to be able to just pull something out and go, okay, we're going to run this.
No, but it's like this. When you prep before, like, we used to do, like, this is something like Styko wanted to bring into our, like, prep work when we were in No Chance, for example. We would have it's kind of like a cloud of rounds. Okay, we lose pistol, we do this round. And you already prep these clouds for your opponent so that, okay, we're in the first buy round. We want to do this round because we believe they will try to fuck us up. And you have a kind of, it's nothing the IGL needs to really do except follow a pattern of rounds that you've preset. And it would be the first 5 rounds of the game. And then you can start playing your default when you've kind of thrown them off the scent. Okay, this isn't working. We aren't countering them. They're not doing what we saw them do. And I feel like that part is kind of missing for Spirit, where they're so confident in Donk just delivering that they forget to play Counter-Strike or think about Counter-Strike.
But isn't the system all built around Donk anyway?
Yes, but it can be. But you also have to some extent. Yeah, but you have to condition the opponent to not be comfortable doing that. There has to be a risk. Okay, if they want to counter Donk, okay, Donk goes lower on Dust 2. Where are they going to go? They're going to push mid. How do we eliminate that? Or they're going to boost short. They're going to nade from short. How do we counter that? What risk do they take by doing that? What is open? Okay, if they keep doing that, maybe an early B pop is a weakness. Maybe they won't go 2 in B every single round. Maybe long is free because they are committing so many early resources on short that you can do a delayed flash on the lonely long guy, through the smoke. Like small stuff like this, it's super simple, but eventually they have to reallocate resources on the sides of the map, which gives space to Donk to do his move, to play his game, not get naded every fucking round. That's the shit I'm talking about.
And look at this, right? The reason I'm being harsh on Spirit here is because I'm harsh on MOUZ, the community's harsh on MOUZ, the community's harsh on MongolZ and stuff. Spirit can't get a pass for this. And if you look at their year, it's been great overall, right? You say you lost to only PARIVISION, Furia, and now Astralis. But it's the way they lost that made me think that like this is a system problem more than it is anything else, because it can't just rely on one player. That's not how good CS is played.
No, but at the same time, I mean, it's the pressure's there because Donk is there. You expect him to be in the final of every single event, just like Saibu expected to be in the final of every single event.
Yep.
And that's why the pressure is so high on them. They're not in the same position as MOUZ. Even though they've been more consistent than Spirit and MOUZ, I would still put more pressure on Spirit. They're built to win championships. They're built to challenge Vitality. They're built to be in the final. And if there's one event they're just going to cruise and win, this is it. This is it. No Falcons, no Vitality. Furia already out.
Yeah. This was Spirits and MOUZ's event, and both of them went out in the quarters.
I put more pressure on Spirit.
No, definitely more pressure on Spirit, but I mean, this was both of theirs events. Like this was looking like it was theirs to go for. They became tournament favorites without a doubt. So yeah, I want to see the bounce back from them. This should be some sort of an adjustment, but I mean, Halley can't get away with this if this happens again, especially to lesser team. It's who they lost to and the way they lost. It's just ugly, very ugly.
But all credit to Astralis. They did play great.
Yeah,
they did play great.
I'm not gonna. We'll get onto Astralis.
Yeah,
but before Astralis, we get on to FUT. So FUT had to fight all the way after Cluj Poker, through stage 1 and stage 2. They 3-0'd stage 1, beat M80, beat Passion, beat Astralis. Then they played stage 2, had to play Astralis again. By the way, that was crazy. They had to play Astralis again. They played Astralis 3 times this tournament.
3 times in one event.
And they played back at Cluj as well. So like they know each other. And they played in Krakow. So there's a lot of history between these guys. Oh. So they start off losing to Astralis, then they beat Heroic, then they lose to 3D Max, then they beat Bait, and we already touched on it, they beat G2. They beat MOUZ. This win over MOUZ was a bit of revenge, but it's also their first stage game for this young team. Like the average age of FUT is 19. 19 years old is the average age of these guys. This is a dream for them, right? To play on a stage, to get to an arena, finally break through. They are a top 10 team in the world. They are, to me, they're a tier 1 team now. Some people disagree with that, but for me, they're definitely a tier 1 team. They look really good.
They're the solution for every other team.
In what sense?
That people are going to pick their players.
Oh, well, I hope that isn't going to happen. I hope they're going to get to stay with it. Yeah, we spoke about this before. That would be horrible. That would be horrible. I want to see these guys stay together. They've got a good set of players together, how they work with each other. And if we already said this, right? If they go on any other teams, like it's just going to ruin what those players currently play like.
Save FaZe.
No. They're better than FaZe. They don't need to save FaZe. No one needs to go to FaZe. Not even if they're offering crazy money. So their semi-final game was against NAVi, and they did have a good fight against NAVi.
Yeah.
They won Ancient. They played okay on Dust 2. It was close in the first half. Then
to
they
be fair, NAVi should have won Ancient.
Yeah, especially after the 8-4 T side.
I saw something crazy, like they lost like 2 5v3s, 1 5v2. They got Glock ecoed, NAVi. It was some crazy statistic like that made them lose Ancient. So they made I mean, obviously it's great for them. They also had this, Krabeni had this crazy ace on Dust.
We got aces from Makazze and Krabeni.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That's really crazy. And you know what, I will say this, like Krabeni as an IGL, I'm really enjoying.
Yeah.
What a great, maybe it's a lot of help he gets from Coolio or how it is, but his read for the game, IGLs with scouts, like there's so many positives to put around FUT. And then obviously for FUT is like, it'll be a little bit sad because they won against Astralis. They had, what was it, 12-9, and then they lost 3 CT rounds in a row on that overpass. Overpass again for these guys being the pain in their ass or the foot in their ass.
Yeah.
And then losing it and walking away with 4th place. It's sad, but I still think like it's massively positive for these guys, you know? Like, yes, you came close. You're going to have these games, but the experience, the learning, the growth, the first arena for them.
I mean, they're a serious team. They're a really scary team to face off for any of the top teams. They know that they can lose against FUT. So I think that they've placed themselves in a weird category of teams where I think, well, they're one of the scariest teams to play against.
Definitely.
And you know, results will come. This is a great one for them, and I think it will continue for them as well. I don't see them stopping. I don't see the cracks in the way they approach the game. You know, cracks in their individuals. Yes, they can have bad games, but everyone can. But as a unit, they look really exciting. And
did you hear some of their voice comm rounds? Some of their voice comm rounds, it is, even though English is the second language for everyone on that team, such good communication. When I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh, this is, you know, that meme, like, you just vibe into the good comms. Yeah, you know, like the comms was so good in so many rounds. And I'm just thinking, if this is what your normal comms are like and the discipline you have as a team and how well you know each other, that's why I don't want to see this break up. I know I'm living in like a fantasy land of wanting no players to get picked up.
I don't want teams to be broken up that has the potential to be something great together either. But history speaks another language than we do in this part.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously who beat FUT and got 3rd place, and some 3rd place medals, by the way, nice addition for ESL Pro League, was Astralis. Astralis also starting from stage 1. Stage 1 was pretty good, only losing to FUT. Stage 2, they lost to Legacy and MOUZ, and they beat Furia in that close game to make it into the playoffs. Beating Spirit, live game from Fuzi, whatever it was, however you want to put it in, was incredible. Remember, Fuzi's a Swede doing it in the Swedish arena. Losing to Aurora, I think it was tough the way they lost to Aurora because they had a good nuke, wasn't incredible. They got dominated on Dust 2. This is why I said, like, where was the Dust 2 from the Spirit game?
The day before.
Yeah, like, what happened here, man? Like, they got rolled. And if I remember correctly, it was Zontaras. Yeah, Zontaras 1.72. Oh, Woxic was up there. You know what's crazy? I don't remember too many Woxic frags in that game, but I remember the Zontaras ones, but they were both dominating. But this was just a great performance overall from Aurora. And then on Inferno, it got close. I honestly thought that Astralis were going to win. They were up 10-7 at one point, and then they just
lost. I remember flopped. They lost some. Oh yeah, I remember Jabbi was in so many clutches. I think the last 4 rounds he was in clutch situations. They had some really silly kind of take into the A site where there's one sole defender getting 3 kills and ended up with like 2v3 retake situation. There was a lot of like stressed moments at the end of that Inferno that kind of beat them. But I mean, overall, Astralis, this event, look at Fuzi as an AWPer, had the same rating as the MVP of the event, Makazze, on 138 over 8 maps. Only 1 map less than Makazze. And posted that rating. So for me, I think Astralis look great. I think they've found a little bit more consistency. Last time I looked at them, they were very hot and cold. I think there's still a little bit of that element in them, a little bit hot and cold depending on the day. But you can see the work and progress. I'd be happy if I was an Astralis fan right now. I would be enjoying my life.
And also for Astralis, like, this is the best Astralis I've seen in, I don't know, man.
It's a long time, bro.
it's trying to remember when I last saw a good Astralis. Like, this is a long time. And I'm kind of happy for him because, again, shout out to EPL, being EPL, bits a bit more looser and stuff, right? Getting the voice comms out there. We were hearing the way Hooksy was telling people, like, shut up now, listen to me, focus on this, you know, like he is in his element of a little bit of micromanagement, taking the freedom away at times while giving it back to him, depending on the moments. Like, they also had some good comms coming out multiple times. Wasn't there one where Fuzi told
yeah, he said like, yeah, I knew we were going to overtime, but shut up. It was like something to the coach. Like,
what was it, man? He's like said fuck off or something, didn't he?
Yeah. He was like mimicking the coach of Raga.
I gotta find this again. Here we go.
Mimicking,
I told you so. It's gonna be overtime. Now shut the fuck up. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I told you so. It's gonna be overtime. Shut
clip.
the fuck up, Custer. Let's fucking go now.
Going out with a bang here, or Astralis.
Shut the fuck up, Casper. Let's fucking go. It's actually brilliant. It's actually brilliant. We need to include that. We need to definitely include that. But yeah, shout out to him being hyped up in that, right? He was going for it. He was feeling it. He was having moments like this. I'm very positive about what this Astralis can deliver.
This like, it's perfect banter in the team. Like, no one's gonna take offense. You know, everyone's gonna laugh it off and just go into that overtime in the best way possible. I love it. I think humor is one of the best tools you can use in removing pressure.
They also 4-0 in overtime once they get there, you know? Like, that's what's crazy. That is what is so good.
It's brilliant.
It's like, then you come through with a different energy, a different belief, so well playing. And you also know, like, yeah, you have Fuzi and Ryu who are not so used to being on the stage, but it's like comparing it to FUT where no one's got that experience. You know, you have this little bit of a mental edge at the same time. And Fuzi doing the interview with Stunner on stage at the end, he was so happy to even have the third place, to have the experience, which is for someone who was winning Katowice's Colognes with G2, you know, at the top of his game. And he just understands, like, this is something I can build with. I've got people who want to play Counter-Strike again and go in the right direction for my career. He deserves it, man. I loved hearing that.
No, I think...
Also, bang a third place game, because normally they're terrible. So this was great.
I love this new Astralis. Honestly, I think there's so much positives to talk about. I think they've showed that they can be an annoying team. They can be on that level where they're scary to beat. They might not just be right up there, but they're definitely one of the scarier teams to kind of play against in one of these like group stages, even for a top team, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very, very hopeful. I'm very impressed with Astralis and what they've done.
Now, our last two teams that made it to the grand final, Aurora and NAVi. Now, let me just ask you this. Before going into that grand final, who would you say was favourites to win that series?
100% NAVi.
Okay, so you were saying NAVi as well. Because there was a lot more people I was hearing saying, like, oh, Aurora can do it this time, like with the way Wakadia was playing, the way Woxic was playing, for example. Even Madra was having some of these crazy individual moments. And their stage 2 was pretty good. They only lost to the Mongols. Then they beat Legacy, they beat Astralis, but it was 2-1 both games. They almost didn't win their Anubis. Like, they started off so strong on Anubis, and it was closer than it should have been. It was crazy.
It was molding after it.
Yeah. He always does at the moment. He always does. But I mean, for Aurora, I know the Turkish fans are going to hate this, but this just has to be said. Your GOAT is Zantares. But again, I'm seeing another finals performance where he's 0.76. I know he's always looking frustrated on the cameras. I know we keep talking about they need a mental coach, which they still, for some reason, haven't figured out, getting the performance coach in there. But like, if I'm watching Soulfly, the new recruit, be the one to hype the team up and bring him back into it, you know, and Woxic's also getting the energy. Okay, he's a bit more quiet. It's not kind of his role for it, but I don't see him as like I don't see him completely negative the whole time, you know? But Xantares is like mood killer, also not playing good in the finals when he is your star. He is given so many resources for Aurora and not delivering.
I think people even wrote in the comments like he was on 4 frags on Nuke. The team's dropping him AK. The rest are playing SMG. Everyone else having a better game, but they're still like allocating resources to trying to keep him alive.
Get him confidence, make him think he can
was
do
like
it.
hyping up as much as he could every time they won a round. Like there was a lot of elements where it felt like they just tried to almost wake Xantares up.
Same as back in Bucharest. Same thing.
And I mean, I don't know the inner workings of each individual on every team and everything like that. But when I look at Xantares, even when he dies, it doesn't even seem like he's communicating what I would expect from a player when someone dies. Feels like he just slopes and I died, and you know.
You mean the camera shots we get, right, where he kind of just goes like, backwards and
it's almost like he's dead, and it's like, and he doesn't say anything. Like to me, that's probably the most tilting factor for me about Xantares, without knowing if this is even true or not. But this is the kind of presumption I'm making. If you're that player, every resource is being allocated towards you. Your only thing that I see personally that you're contributing is the fragging department. Then you're a huge liability when you get performances like this. In the final, when it matters the most, he needs to be the one carrying the team, pushing the team forward. It shouldn't be 4 teammates trying to wake you up because you can get in a pissy mood. Like, people should be able to look at you and like, okay, I know that this guy is going to deliver. I don't need to worry about him. He always does.
Safe pair of hands.
Boom. Yes. Right now, like, I don't know. It looks terrible from my point of view. It looks really, really bad. Because even Soulfly, from analyst desk to, you know, was criticized throughout the event for having terrible, you know, showings. He was their best player in the final. I think that he himself, even though he might not always put the stats up, he has improved this Aurora team since his addition. And I think that Xantares has kind of dropped them down a little bit again.
Xantares ended up being the worst rated player of Aurora for the whole playoffs. Yeah. Soulfly ended up being above him. And also, Soulfly is kind of a sacrificial lamb in some rounds. Like, I'm just watching the poor guy. I'm watching him go out.
He has terrible roles. He has really bad roles.
Because there's some people who have like bad roles, right? But then they're still getting like extra support in, you know. No, Soulfly, you're sent out there to be like a homing missile. If you can get one, good. If not, you just do some damage. You're giving us the information, go.
Yeah.
So
it's a weird one. I think right now, the way that he played, at least in the grand final, he was a liability. And I hope that he can show up and shut me up and, you know, show that he's better than that. But I'm getting a little bit worried about the time of our lives, a reference to a 90s show.
Yeah.
That it's not going to get better.
But also, as he's getting older, should we now, because he is amazing, mechanically very gifted and skilled. We know so many moments of Xantares pop, of Xantares dominance, Xantares peak. But are we getting to the point where we maybe say, Xantares, pass this on to a Wicadia, pass this on to a Soulfly, I don't know, someone else, whoever it's going to be, yeah? And you have a different style of role. Or is it just going to be he's going to end his career in this role, whether it's good or bad, stat-wise, or what was in performance? Because Everyone was blaming Magic not too long ago.
The day I see Santaris jumping BFs on Mirage, I think that he should be been removed a long time ago.
No, but I just
don't.
We know what he can do. We know how good he can be, but it's like
that's not the solution, mate. I don't know. Trust me. That's just what I'm saying.
Okay, but even in their wins, right? It wasn't a Zantares crazy carry. Magic had it against Legacy, Woxic, Arcadia.
Which means the team has improved a lot, by the way.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
It didn't used to be that way, so there's a lot of positives for Aurora, but this was their chance.
So what do we make of Aurora's whole run? Because
I think it's a good run.
But they benefited, right, in the playoffs. Like, you only had to beat Legacy and Astralis to go to the finals. You dodged the MOUZ and you dodged the Spirit.
I get what you're saying, but that's not really Aurora's fault.
No, it's not their fault.
Best they could
Definitely
do with an Astralis and Legacy, way harder opponent than what we would look at before the tournament. They did play great. They were difficult to overcome, both of them.
Yep.
You know, I think the final best of 5, not really the jam of Aurora, if I'm honest. I think they're going to have a hard time against any team in the world winning a best of 5 final. If you just looked at it, Anubis obviously needed to go Aurora's way. Mirage was never going to go Aurora's way. And I mean, Nuke, not really either. Not against this NAVi.
I thought there might be, because the nuke of NAVi had not looked its strongest. I thought there actually was a risk in there at some point, maybe. But when Zantares is not having that output, it was like, okay, well, bro, there was one point where like Zantares was already having a rough time on nuke, and I watched him jump down into main, you know, like from the top of main. And I mean, it was him insta dead, and you just saw him just go, like, it wasn't even the slump back. It was just, it's not happening. Like, no,
it's like. It's like, you know, when you watch animes and they turn like blue and there's like this...
Everything's gone. No color in their face completely. Bro, he just realized this ain't happening today. Like, he had no surprise element, no multi-kill, nothing was happening. And then Soulfly on
those days as well.
Soulfly was there with a Deagle almost closing out NAVi on one round on A site. Like, you know, it was... I think, okay, this is sad for Aurora again to lose another final. Yeah? They've only had that one trophy to their names. But it is improvements. I'm going to agree with you there. Despite who they don't get to choose who they faced. But I mean, this is only going to be possible at an event where they can miss some of those real tough teams they struggle against.
The positive is, even though we've been kind of, you know, hammering down, we've been hammering down a little bit on Zantares here. Yep. And if we just draw it out from perspective, the one critique I had for Aurora before going into this year was they were over-reliant on Zantares. That problem, for me, even including this final, is fixed. They were competitive in this series against NAVi without Zantares.
True. I will say as well, when we're talking about Zantares, we're not saying he's bad, because on the online stage, he was the 4th highest rated player of the whole online stage. Only Shiro, Donk, and Spinks were above him.
But the problem is, when you have a player of that caliber, but also playing roles where you maybe a good game, even an average game, would be a 115 rating. A 0.76 is a lot worse than a 0.76 Soulfly performance. That's all I'm going to say. You know, if they were on the same performance, Zantares would be way worse because of the positions, opportunities that he is allowed to take.
And what is given to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so from Aurora onto our champions, NAVi, getting the job done.
I might as well just leave now. Just blabber on. I'll leave the camera, you know, like...
You go make yourself a coffee.
It's your time to shine.
Let me enjoy my moment here.
Yeah.
Now, this win feels good. I'll give them the same treatment, by the way, as I did Aurora. The online stage was terrible. Like, they almost didn't make it to this part. Like, they lost to G2, they lost to Legacy, and they almost lost to 3D Max. I wouldn't say they had a chance of losing to Monte, but I mean, it was tough games. Then they 2-0 MOUZ, 2-1 FUT, FUT put up that fight, and then they win the final against Aurora. They also did get to miss playing any top teams, you know? They didn't have to face MOUZ because FUT eliminated them for them. MOUZ, by the way, MOUZ have NAVi's number. So I was already thinking in my mind, like, okay, if NAVi and MOUZ get to the semis, it's going to be tough. Like, that wouldn't be something that would go their way. But NAVi get to go to the final. They handle this with Aurora, no problems at all. I honestly thought they were going to get the 3-0. I thought once they get that Anubis, it'll be done. Obviously, they even came back from being behind, starting 8-4 down on Anubis, you know? The other thing I want to touch on is, am I stupid? Probably. But this is Anubis, Aurora's pick.
Should I answer this now?
And NAVi started CT side. Does that mean they chose to start CT side?
Wait, rephrase this.
NAVi had the choice of side for Anubis, Aurora's pick, and they chose to start CT side.
Yes.
Wouldn't you normally choose to start T side?
So that's been a change on this map. It's been more 50-50.
I didn't think it was... Okay, because I wouldn't say it was that much in favor of going CT side now, right?
No, I mean, the thing is, I'm still, and will always be in teams, a reverser in the theory, even on maps like, I want to start T on nuke. I want to do that. I'm that crazy motherfucker. And
you want to start on the hard side and grind your way out?
No, I just always want to start T.
Okay.
I just like it more. I think I get to set the pace. Also, I think there's this is my get IGLs to perform better theory. Get them to play the T side first. Don't need to think about strats anymore. Can play CT side, relaxed. Don't release all that strategy out of your brain and just be a player in that half. I think for me, but yes, they chose CT side, and it's been more better. And you can set the tempo a lot more on the CT side now with the drop and everything, and doing aggressive moves. So maybe they had some idea of how they wanted to disrupt Aurora, but obviously didn't work out that great. But yes, I would say it's more of a 50-50 now side to pick. It's like an ancient, you know? It's like, I don't care what I start. That's too. I don't care. Whatever. Just let me play.
Just let's get into the game.
Yeah.
So, obviously, coming into this final, by the way, Makazze and Ima were the two gunning for MVP. If Aurora won, it would have been Wicadia or Woxic. 1.50 rating for Makazze coming into the final. 1.40 rating for Ima. Ima obviously had a stinking... By the way, I'll just say this because Ima won't mind. I was messaging him and I said, it's between you and Makazze for the MVP. And he was like, you know what? I can't take that away from him. I'll just be happy with the trophy. And then Ima has a terrible grand final, like lower than Alexi, 0.85 rating. Yeah. So there was no chance from taking it. But we get God tier wonderful, better performance than we saw at the major. Yeah.
This is career highest.
1.25 dominance in the final. Striker said, by the way, that it was almost wonderful that would get the MVP. They said, despite how the rating was, because the rating was like close, you know? Let's have a look. What was the rating?
It was 138 versus 125.
Oh, what is it? 128 versus 135?
138 on Makazze versus 125 for Wonderful. But the only reason they say it's close is because they do weight the grand final more than the other games.
Okay. That's why. That is why then. Because he said tough call after tough call lately. Wonderful made it neck and neck by the end, just because of the grand final. So they're putting it so heavily weighted. But Wonderful, God mode. I want to see this more often. We need to just see more of this comeback there, right? Fantastic from him. Makazze in his element, such a useful extra safe pair of hands to have now for this team.
I think there's been some growth in Makazze. Like, you know, he's gone from almost what I would consider a typical Albanian player.
Only you're allowed to say this, by the way.
Yeah, where, you know, you run and gun and you take as many fights as possible.
Full aggression.
There's almost no logic behind it. Just give me more. Give me more. It's like a bloodthirst.
It's like you've actually got a little talent cooldown in an MMO, and you're like bloodlust, run and just go and kill.
It's like a blood frenzy of some sort.
Yeah.
But I think he's found a way to still have that blood frenzy, but there's a no sometimes. There's like a stop.
He's heard this from Blade in practice all the time.
Not yet. Not blood frenzy yet. And then he gets blood frenzy. Like in the right moment. I think that development.
You think this is Blade's voice? Blade's voice in the back of his head. Even though Blade can't talk to him, he thinks to himself, Blade would tell me no.
But there's a bit better balance to him. I think that's what I'm trying to say. He still has that, and he will go for those moments. But there's a bit more
smarter
finesse.
Decision making.
There's a bit more finesse with it.
He's getting some magic with it.
Yeah. And not playing Inferno helps.
Yeah, definitely.
He wanted to end it before Inferno.
he said, if it goes to Inferno, I'm going to have the worst
wonderful
final
guest
rating
MVP
possible.
if it's Inferno.
It's not happening for me. I will just eat nades all day long. I still haven't learned to dodge them.
Fuck banana.
Yeah. He's not scared. He never is scared. He will just go there and take it all the whole time. Also, what's crazy, right? As I was reading on the interview he did for his 1xBet HLTV MVP medal, and he says, it feels good to be honest. Yeah, a lot of that. By the way, I'll say this. From the interviews he gave Stunner to the interviews he's given HLTV, like, he gives me a lot more, because I don't know what happened this event, but he was hardly answering questions.
There was like 6 questions, and all 6 of them was, I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling amazing, to be honest. Like,
I even watched the stage interview for both when he won and when he got the MVP, and they were both the same answers.
Bro, I don't know what happened to him this event. Maybe he was so laser focused on his like good performance, but it was never this bad interviews with him ever, and I've done a lot of them.
But there's a little bit of shining in his eyes when he's saying it. It almost comes off as a little bit humoristic.
Trying to be Mimi. It doesn't really work with him though. Like, it doesn't work fully.
No, so maybe not, but he'll get there.
I'm going to read this, right? So, I don't know who did the interview. Demps did the interview. King Demps did the interview. And he said to him, so you're the first person from your country to win a HLTV MVP medal. How does it feel for you personally? It feels good, to be honest. It kind of looks like I'm writing history. Before it was Bad News Eagles. They wrote history going to the major 3 times. And now that I won a tier 1 event and obviously got the HLTV medal, it's kind of, I'm writing history, so I'm feeling good. Of course, he ends it with, I'm feeling good. But, I mean, he's done what the boys, like, they ran so he could walk, right, and do this, you know? Like, now Krebeni's coming up as well. Like, there is so much positive coming from this scene.
He could walk? You mean they ran so he could fly?
No, was it? Is that what it is? I can't remember.
But just because of the Bad News Eagles.
Ran
so he could fly.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Look, you're much faster than me on this, considering I'm checked out at this point. But I'm very happy that he still gives his respect to them guys. All of them were tweeting as well, like, they were watching that game. They were ecstatic for him, because it's so important for a smaller country to have this, right? We saw it before where Imma was the first from Romania to win big, right? It's the same in every country when they have this chance to do it and this chance to break through. But I think if this could be the Makazze we get going forward, this could unlock a NAVi that, I'm not going to say they're going to title contend against the Vitalities and Falcons. They're still away from that.
But they can win games against them.
Yeah, and they can start to level up. And what do we always say with Blade? Trust the system, trust the process. He's
just
going
give like a
again.
3-day break, quarterfinal against Vitality. They got a shot.
Well, bro, they came close both times they played Vitality, right? Really close. All the extra prep in there. And also, I'll say this. I don't know what's going on with the Alexi B situation. I'm not here to talk about taxes and stuff. But having that
expertise.
But having that pressure on him, right, that information went public, during an event, and then you're dealing with it while playing the tournament, still leading your team, still hearing these positive voice comms. I'm very proud and impressed with what we heard and saw, because you even had, this was a bit harsh, Stockholm. You may have laughed about it, but like chanting pay your taxes to him from the crowd. It's like, it's on the personal level of I don't enjoy it too much.
But what?
But because maybe he didn't actually do anything wrong. We don't know anything yet.
No, I'm not saying he's wrong, but I don't think that he's done like anything majorly wrong. I think it's been a misunderstanding, and it's just figuring out what the intent was from his side. But because I
and
just
it was 6 years ago.
But I don't see Alexi B being that type of person. Plus, there was other Finnish players in the same organization at the same time that also got the same problem. So it's probably an organization to individual kind of blah blah blah.
Something went wrong. Yep.
Either way, I just take it as a kind of funny thing, I don't think they meant any ill intent, like the crowd, towards Alexi B. I just think they found an opportunity to meme, just like the Twitter porn with FUT, or I think it's more of that kind of situation.
Twitter porn is funny, because
still personal level.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just hilarious, right? In comparison to he can go to jail for this. He's not going to jail for Twitter porn. Like if he actually has done something wrong with his taxes, they're gonna bang you up something rotten.
Yes, but I don't think there's gonna be any jail time for this.
No. Obviously, I'm hoping definitely not as well, right? No one wants that. But I mean, tax things are very, very high, like big no-nos.
Scandinavian countries, it's like...
Yep. Also, if you're going to avoid taxes, leave the country before they can get you and then never return. Just a little bit of advice out there. just duck out and go. Don't stick around where they can still grab you. He's still there. He's still staying in Finland. But I mean, he did all of this, right? Led the team in style while going through all of that. It's really solid. It's really solid from the whole team. Good performances all around. Like, I don't know what all the NAVi players' ratings were. Let me have a look down this. So, 1.38 for Makazze for the event, 1.25 Wonderful, 119 for Bit, 114 for Imma, and 195 for Alexi. All played solid all around. Solid all around. 190 rounds. They played the most rounds except for Aurora and FUT.
Yeah. 2 teams.
Yeah. Except Aurora and FUT. And obviously this puts them on the map. This is the first trophy since IM Rio 2024.
It's good.
It's crazy. Really crazy. But that's it. That concludes our marathon of EPL coverage.
Yep. There was so much in that.
The speed run. That's definitely what we're not very good at doing. So getting on to speed running the news. First thing we're going to look at is the rumor of FaZe changes.
Yes.
Right now, it's not the changes we were talking about or hoping for. It was about minus Neo. Now, a lot of conversations has been had on different podcasts, different community people saying, like, what does Neo do? People have to remember all that time ago, Carrigan chose Neo. Yeah. He was an old ex-FaZe member, even right for a moment in time when he was IGLing. I believe that was even when Janko was coaching the team. And Neo's not the best at expressing himself, not the best on like giving you the information on interviews or doing it in the right way. But there was a reason he's been a coach for so long. Do I think changing Neo is a solution to the problems? No, not even close. Do I think they might need a different type of coach? Maybe a bit more of an emotional leading coach, similar to what we had, where like Eddie was always around as the manager. Obviously, he's not a coach, but I mean, he was the good vibes guy.
This could be the good vibes guy.
Yeah, but also just for you to know, Eddie's not there anymore. They've got a new manager.
Oh, really?
Eddie. I remember I always said this. Eddie's like in a super high up position in FaZe. He should have never been the manager. He was just constantly with the FaZe team. So like, dude, I think he's like director of esports. Like Hansel.
He probably just started
director of esports, FaZe esports. So there was never a time that Eddie should have just been staying there, chilling with the team and coming to all these events. Like, he's got a life, he's got other things he needs to do, he's got a company director to be, yeah. But they loved him, he loved them. It was just a good match made. But now they've got a different manager. Theo's there, and maybe they just need a change of personnel outside of that as well. But I still think this is just the beginning, and this doesn't solve anything dramatically.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one because it's like I don't really know who would be replacing Neo. Because to me, it feels like, okay, Kerrigan is always going to kind of have the way he wants to have it, as long as he's on that team.
Yeah.
And he's going to pick someone that helps elevate what he does.
Benefits him and what he wants, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really know what to conclude about this. And I also think like people have been way too harsh on Neo. He has so much experience. He has people don't even grasp how much experience this guy has.
Yeah,
people
who didn't watch 1.6.
People who know, they know. Okay.
Did you see the comment that was made within our Messi interview where some guy was like, "Oh, the 1.6 times don't count," and I was like,
"Shut up!" Just because you didn't watch them.
Exactly. The dude was like, "Oh, half of them were not even considered professional players or something." And I'm like,
"Fuck you, man."
That was the same at CS:GO though. Beginning of CS:GO, they weren't technically professional players. And half of the things we were having.
The reason that we even have a fucking esports.
Can we use this run and walk thing now and not fly? Does that work again?
Yeah. Like,
yeah, cool.
Motherfucker, without these people, we would have nothing.
Yeah.
The reasons people are so hardcore, people are so involved in this, organization, people who own shit, go into this, love this. We talk about like, complexity owner, Jason Lake.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about like, there's all these old guards, they're in like CEO positions, esport direction. They love CS. They want CS. They don't give a shit if they lose money. They want to be in CS because they love the game, have a passion for it, and that has made this game grow into what it is today. So don't go disrespecting these legends because they made it what it is today.
Exactly that. But back to the FaZe situation.
Yes, I have no idea.
Yeah, we don't know if it's true or not. I don't know who they would get. That's my thing. I'm looking at names and I'm thinking like, where do we go with
this? Weird thing is, I think that they will get a newbie coach that they think is just good at analytical work and put them in a head coach position. That's my guess. I don't think it will be an established name. I think it could be random, like... I mean, heck, why not even throw Freiberg in there, man? Buy him out from Johnny Speeds.
Yeah.
Get him in there. He has a wealth of experience. He's very, very good with people. He is good at hyping. He has, IGL knowledge from his days.
Wait,
I think he has the package.
I got it.
I'm just saying it.
Carragher's going to bring Olaf back in.
I would still pick Freiberg.
I don't know. I know you would, but I mean, I'm just imagining the relationship, the vibes, the yokes that would happen, the joy, all of the. I don't know how you get Olaf.
I'm just gonna like. I like Freiberg. He's a good mate of mine. I think he would be a really, really good choice for them.
Okay.
Why
we'll wait and see.
Try
we'll keep
wings,
everyone updated on it.
Try his wings.
His wings.
Yeah, but we had a reference of flying and shit.
Oh, okay. Here we. Man,
come on, man.
Okay, I'm not. I can't be that fast today. It's been a busy, long day. All right, the next one on our recent news is this G2 and Liquid swap. So, G2 get Nerds, Liquid get MOUZ. Liquid go back to America's region so they can actually make the major, and G2 get Nerds, who's worked with some players and saw before, and they're all friends, and happy, joy. I'll start with
which side would you want to start with?
I'll start with Liquid first, because Liquid, people are like hating on them for going back to the Americas region. Yeah. Liquid's one of the biggest organizations in esports, but they've spent a ton of money and wasted a ton of money on Counter-Strike that has sucked and not performed. They can't afford to not make it to the major. The VRS system does work like this. They can just swap to NA if they've got that NA package there. Remember, Elige, NAV, and now you got MOUZ. So they just, back to NA. Everything's good over there, Easy competition. And they take their points with them. Now, do I think this system is perfect? No. Do I think this is flawed? Yes. But if you're Liquid, you're probably going to do it as well. And I'll say this, it makes sense because it wasn't working with Nerds. Nerds wasn't playing like Nerds. The team is in disarray at times. Ultimate and more Ultimate, but Ultimate and Shuhei, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how Shuhei is dealing with the whole situation and what's happening. They're entering Roman Cup to make sure they can, he said Romanian Cup. They entered Roman Cup to make sure they can try and get some points and put themselves in a better position. They'll be fine in the Americas region now. But I mean,
as a competitor, I don't blame them. Fucking shitty, man. I think it sucks. And I understand like the kind of outburst from a lot of America's team or coaches or players that think this is a bit unfair. And I agree with that. I think it is a bit unfair because I think just
the swapping unfair, right? Swapping regions, you think is unfair?
Yes, I think that's unfair. I think once you've committed to a region, you can't just like it. There's some very big gray zones for me in terms of that. From
Valve
like
would have seen this now, and Valve go, cool, next season this ain't happening. Like they'll say whatever reasons you start your. This is what I'm just imagining. Valve are smart enough, right? They made adjustments last time around. They will look at this and go, okay, someone else cheated our system. Block. Okay, you start in this region, you play in that region until next season. Then next season you can be in the region you change to. Boom.
I think that would be the most reasonable thing. Yeah. Like once you put yourself in a region until the next major, that's the region you're competing in. 100%. I think that would be the best change for it. And I understand also from the lower tier perspective, maybe you are one of those 9th, 10th, 11th teams, fighting for that one spot at the very end. And a big org comes in, swoops in. You have now 0 chances. You're an small org that committed on kind of a gamble to send all these teams to lands that cost money, made investments, and now that's all fucked.
Passion UA and M80 are at risk, right?
I'm not really sure who's at risk or not, but I can understand it from a perspective where, now our chances are gone. Our dream is dead. And so that sucks.
10 for the Americas, yeah. When I click on the Americas right now, so this is as of today. Yeah, Passion, Voca, which is Semphasis team who made the tweet, Gaming Gladiators, they're all going to get pushed down. Like M8 is going to be pushed down. So it's all affecting them. And Semphis will bring up his tweet. He said, I get it. We'd all do the same thing in Liquid's position. I don't blame them, but I do think we can all agree there should be some mechanism in place to stop this from happening again. Region locks or a bigger penalty so that if we are on the cusp, it isn't worth it. Yeah.
100% agree with him. I mean, I didn't even like this tweet. I'm going to like it now. But yeah, I understand their position and what they're in. But I don't really want to dwell too much into this either. I kind of more want to talk about how it makes sense for the two teams. So for me, if I look to MOUZ to Liquid, I think that MOUZ is a player that needs his freedom, needs to be able to do what he wants to do in the way that he wants to do it. That's when you get the best out of him. He's played in this G2. That has been a very systematic approach with Saw and, some Pyres coming in. And they've kind of gotten their way of how to play Counter-Strike with kind of teaching Hunter into their ropes of CS.
Yep.
I think that has been difficult for MOUZ to adjust to. He hasn't performed badly, but I think there's more, there's more to MOUZ than that performance that he's had in G2 so far.
He's not had the highs of when Nico was on the team, right? Where he was like the second fiddle into that and could just play the CT sides as what was told to him and what he was sitting in, and then be the second player in at times, maybe sometimes first player in on T sides.
So I think there's benefits for him joining Liquid. Obviously, joining a worse team, first of all, a struggling team. He can be the savior of that team. And I think there's Liquid needed some change. Maybe this is not even enough of a change for Liquid, but I think there's positives in terms of playing in a loser style for him.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that nerds, I've talked about this in the past, where why hasn't nerds worked out in Liquid? And I've always said that it's because the way Liquid has played with Shuei has been a little bit too loose, a little bit too much, maybe individual responsibility in the rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And when we've seen the best of nerds, he's been in that system with Saw, with Snappy, where it's very set on what they should do. He's been the kind of anchor point where they flashed in. He's, he's good in chaos created systematically.
Yeah.
That's how I would categorize nerds. And I think this is an excellent team for him to join. Probably the best team for him to ever join in like the top 20 of the scene. This is the perfect fit for him. Saul will know how to use him.
Exactly.
Has a relationship with Sampaios. I think that this is on paper bad swap for G2, but on like the grounds that he will fit the system and everything, I just think stats-wise is what I mean by paper.
Mm-hmm.
But I think just because of how well he's worked in the past in these systematic teams, I think it's a great one for G2.
So I'm kind of similar to you, but I'm a little bit different on that. I kind of said it like, right now the winners are Liquid because they get their major slot. Yeah. And with how Nertz was playing and the performance he was having, it looks bad for G2 taking this player. But I feel like Nertz will get back to his best and be in a good position. Because Liquid seems to kill players, by the way. Like, players don't perform well in Liquid for what it doesn't matter if it was Cadian leading, Twist leading. Like, Yukinda got better when he left. Nertz will probably get better when he left. Like, we keep seeing this happen with Liquid players that I feel like short term, it might look bad for G2, but I think long term, it'll be better. And I think Saw will know exactly how to use him. And I still think, though, even though this is bringing Sampaios, Saw, and Nertz back together, that Sampaios, unless he finds that consistency, he's still the one looking up the chopping block after this major cycle. Like, we're still the one with all the pressure on his shoulders.
The problem is there's not that many great AWPers to just
we keep doing this.
Swap on.
Yeah. You're lucky if you're a shit AWPer right now.
Yes,
because you're keeping your job.
I mean,
despite being bad.
I think Pimp said it best one broadcast where it's like, AWPers are incredibly lucky right now because they're all so fucking shit that they can't replace each other.
Yeah, it's true. He did that Blast Bounty. Yeah, he did. Yeah. It's true. It's actually so true. It's so true. Can't knock it. All right. Well, when we're talking about AWPers, next bit of news is Hedrick. He's joining Inner Circle. Now, Inner Circle, obviously, full Ukrainian team again. Hedrick going back there. I like this move. I think this is a positive move. It's a very young team outside of Captain Kirker. Hedrick right now needs to have a revival. It might look like a step back, but it is a team that was exciting. Obviously, Inner Circle did lose like their best player, Ken, who went to NIP. But I was so worried about Hedrick being stuck in a position where Bates screwed him in the beginning part of the season. I didn't know who would be able to take him, what options he would get. I thought maybe he'd be out for the whole season, but the fact he can join Inner Circle and have some performance now, I'm not saying this is going to propel Inner Circle up the rankings to do crazy changes, but he'll be with people he knows, all common language, all common understanding. Let's see what he can do again.
My take is actually this is a great kind of pause from the top scene for Hedrick. Not only does he get to play with his countrymen, he gets to be that star individual in the team again, and he'll have JR as a coach. Used to be an AWPer. I've played against him myself. Also used to be a very aggressive, kind of crazy play AWPer. And I think that it will do him some good to find his confidence for someone that understands an AWP from a coaching perspective to develop moves and things and kind of make his toolbox a little bit bigger, and that eventually will make him attractive enough to come back to the top.
Yep. Sweet. Don't need to talk too much about that.
Yep.
Oh, my camera just decided to go sleeping. It had a sleep. It said it's sleeping.
All right.
It didn't believe in the podcast.
Believe it. It was like no one has used this for a while.
It said go to bed. Go to bed right now. Well, that's the first time that's happened. So birdfromsky and BOWUP leave Kono over unpaid wages. Also, Kioz also said this on Twitter about a month ago or so, that he also was having problems with him. He said Kono has breached his contract. Now remember, Kono is like an organization of a Ukrainian football player. I don't know if his name is just there or what is going on, but this is a bad look. Like, this is terrible, because this is now multiple people leaving. Obviously, birdfromsky has been leveling up players and bringing players into situations over and over again. But this team was like Queenix, Jax, Bermalov, BOWUP, birdfromsky. So
hasn't like some Ukrainian player been like in like contract jail in this team in the past, or am I mixing things up?
I can't tell you. I have no idea. Maybe you're right. But yeah, the sad thing about this is like the core of this team, they were going to smaller events, so they were trying to grind up VRS points. I'm not saying they were doing anything like next level or amazing, but they were doing it themselves. And then just Kono haven't paid, haven't come up with their goods, haven't done what they're supposed to do. And the CEO said that Kio's claims he was denied payments do not correspond to reality. All obligations have always been fulfilled towards everyone. But this obviously isn't true, because I'll say this, right? Now it's Kio's and birdfromsky and BOWUP. I don't believe all three of them are lying.
Something fishy is going on.
This isn't good.
Camp of Kono.
And Jack said that the team will continue playing together under a temporary name with the following roster. So they're going to stick together as these guys and not play under Kono. But this is a bad look. Like, I don't know what you're getting into, but you either commit or you don't commit, and you at least pay what you're supposed to pay. But we always see these stories and things pop up every now and again. And do you know what? It's sad, because when you think you've got the backing of some like footballer, you would assume you're going to be kind of sorted, you know? Obviously, it's not the Zinchenko stuff of Passion UA, but I mean, this is a bad look. And if you're going to do this, I don't care if you play football and you think you're top boy or something, fuck off and do one. Just don't even come here. Got no interest. Got no interest in that nonsense. Probably he is a nonce. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Could be true. Could be true.
Google nonce for everyone.
Oh yeah. Maybe don't Google. I'm not even
very British.
I don't care. It's just it pisses me off when we see these things, man. It's not fine. It is not fine at all. And even if you are like, your name as the footballer is associated with this, and if you've got some CEO just doing that and running your mouth and talking a load of stuff with it as well, it's also awful. Like, this is, clean it up, fix it up, and get it done with. Either close it, pay what you owe, or do it correctly and get the right people to do it.
I think I read even a birdfromsky, like he can pay his rent or something because of the missing money. It's like a very stressful situation for the players to be in. So extremely sucky. Feel for them.
Now, from this kind of news, we're going to go into all of the stuff that is going on with tournament organizers. Just we already said this many times, but it's getting crazy right now. Everyone, like ESL and BLAST, were the top two for so long, with no one else getting a chance to come in because there was the partner leagues. Love it or hate it. Sorry, the partner leagues were what they were. Obviously, the system we have now is much better. It's more open. There's none of this lockdown. There is still some of this behind the scenes, like, we'll give you a bit of this and like lock you into
play like events. Shit. You don't go to events.
But it's still, you still have to abide by the VRS, but then there are like these incentives and stuff. And obviously PGL had to come on their own and say they are going to do some of the club share and they are going to do some of this, right? But everyone's up in their game a little bit. So BLAST came out with their announcement. And when I saw this at first, as someone who works all BLAST events, I'm not going to hide it, right? They hire me for pretty much everything. It was great because we were removing online and we were going to have more LANs and there was more money for the teams. Doesn't really affect me, but also more locations. We're not just going to go to the same places. This is obviously by the way, for people who don't understand this, teams want different locations. More importantly, teams with like non-European players, so the North American players, the Russian players, the Ukrainians, the Kazakhstans, They want non-Schengen events because having all events in Schengen means they only get 90 days within 180 days, or they need a visa, which is why we see like Kioski couldn't turn up to events, Alcarin couldn't turn up to events. So TOs are now wanting to go to further afield places, right? Which is why PGL Astana is just one example is really good. Or Blast now going to Brazil is like a good thing.
It's not only that. I mean, it's just great for a whole scene in general that it grows in multiple parts of the world, and we get, you know, exposure from everywhere.
Global Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it becomes accepted in different cultures, you know.
Yeah.
Everything. It's just good all around.
But I will say this. Players and teams want this, but then like we go to Singapore and Hong Kong and China and they're like, oh, it's too far. Oh, I'm shit. Like there is some
that's
pick and choose your battles, guys. Like there is a bit of this. So Blast's announcement was really good, right? So it says Blast has announced details for its 2027 circuit. The bounty, which opens each season, underwent the biggest revamp. It's gone from 32 teams, which was all online until you got to the top 8, to a 16 team where it's all fully on LAN. So that was really positive, right? Then just like open, bounty will feature 12 direct VRS invites and 4 regional qualifiers. People want more qualifiers. Europe, North America, and North and South America, as well as Asia. Each inviting 4 teams to comply with Valve's requirements to invite at least 20 teams to Tier 1 events. And then the open and rivals formats remain unchanged. So that's staying as it was. So we would have bounty at the beginning of 2027, then 2 opens, March and May, then another Blast bounty, then 1 more open, and then rivals. Rivals is like
the
big
tournaments one. Vitality need to win, by the way. Bounties.
Yeah, never. But maybe they'll turn up now because it's on LAN, so maybe that'll happen.
It's the only one they don't have.
Yeah, the only trophy. And then it says year-long investment up to $10 million. And so that went up from 8.5 million in 2025 and 2026. That's a 1.5 million increase. Prize money, $3 million. Team payment, or as we like to call it, team share, 4.5 million. So hear that right. Prize money is 3 million, but the team payment, the club share for the organizations in here is 4.5. I will say this, and I'm going to keep saying it. Contracts for teams are going to change because when they split the prize money and club share now, like PGL is just a 50-50 split, yeah? But now seeing it all like this, some of the teams, some of the players, especially young players, are going to be like, what the hell's going on here? Like, I'm losing out. And I'm going to say...
Winning a tournament, but the org wins more than the players.
One team is going to eventually crack this, right, in some master way, that they break off because they keep their team. Yeah, they don't take contracted money, yeah? Because the salaries, by the way, are good. But like, say they just pull off and they do it on their own. They start something up with an agent or something. Something will happen eventually where like you can do it the B&E way. And by the way, Valve loved that. Valve, when I spoke to them back at the Paris Major, loved the whole story of B&E and being able to live off prize money. Obviously, they were all from Albania and Kosovo, except for you and me. So like...
We were the only starving ones.
Well, I didn't get paid anything, right? You at least got paid. But I mean, the expenses for these guys were a lot lower than, say, the European players that you would have, right? Anyway, then there's acceptance fees. So if we're accepting a Blast event, 1.8 million. And then team experience, which is all like the other stuff in there, 0.7. But then there's another thing here that says, compared to previous years, Blast is moving away from its year-long incentive structure, which was called a frequent flyer program like you get on airlines. Instead, it will reward teams entirely per event. Each event will feature a 1.25 million prize purse, counting towards the Valve VRS standings, right? And that's what everyone's focused on. And then there's $700,000 is kept by for team experience and investment. But the thing is here, yeah, this is all great for Blast, and it would make more teams attend their events. But then PGL come out, literally, I don't know when it was. Like, what's the dates in between these two documents? There's like 28th of February to the 10th of March. Nope, that's the wrong document I'm looking at. Let me get it. Got to get this in order. Till the 9th of March. 9th of March. So, PGL has announced its planned incentive system for 27-28. So, same thing. Theirs is just called the PGL CS2 Tier 1 program. And they've gone to 11 million. So, they're going a little bit above it, right? A hefty increase compared to 5 million for 25 and 26. So, they've jumped up even further. $6 million will be allocated to prize pool, $3 million dedicated to players, $3 million to organizations. So it's a straight 50-50 split. So you can see why players might want to go the other route, yeah? Now, the other $5 million each year will come from VRS standings, VRS invite bonuses, and annual viewership incentive. Kind of similar to like what ESL does, you know, with more views on your games, you get more money into it. 12 teams at each event based on the average cumulative, I can't say that word, cumulative viewership their match brings. At the end of the year, teams will have their points multiplied by the number of PGL events they attend, with the top 16 point earners then going to take a portion of $2.8 million prize pool. PGL has also reaffirmed its commitment to hosting 6 events in 2027 and at least 6 events in 2028. Through the tournament operator noted that additional tier 1 events may be added to the 2028 calendar. Yeah? So if we compare it to Blast, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, PGL are doing 8 each time. Yeah?
Nice.
That's crazy. Obviously, one of them is like the perfect world thing that they do in it. So, wait a second, if I do this. Hosting 6 events, but then they're trying to push it. So 6 events versus Blast, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they are 6-6. They are doing 6-6. I am wrong. But obviously then there's a perfect world in there as well each time. So PGL circuit obviously is coming off the back of this. What was interesting, if I go onto Twitter, yeah, and this is when I started to do some of my investigating, and I messaged some people. Yeah, sometimes I use my contacts. So on the PGL announcement, yeah, the actual PGL esports tweet, 326,000 views, 1,000 hearts or likes, 39 comments. Pretty good, right? Pretty strong. Silvio himself, 1,900 likes, 68 comments. When I look down this, obviously, I'm seeing people comment. Fallen, Major, Apex. Yeah? That's 3 pretty big players who have a huge voice for their teams and their organizations. Like, Furia is doing what Fallen says. Pretty sure Aurora is doing what Major says. And definitely Vitality is doing what Apex says. I'm going to say this. There's nothing good or bad on how people run their companies. ESL and Blast are much bigger corporate companies, right? Where PGL is a lot more of this family-based thing. But I looked at this and thought, well, what's going on here? Because it's not often the players would comment on this, yeah? They used to do this stuff when they were forced to during the partner leagues for your ESL and for your Blast, right? But this was directly from the players. So I got messaging some people, and I can't leak everything, right? But I'll just say, even with this battle and how close it is in terms of the money and what's being offered, it's only a million increase. I will say 6 of the big top tier teams I spoke to already are saying for 2027, they'll be choosing PGL over Blast, which is a worrying sign when they are directly competing with each other. And then Blast had another announcement come out with terms of like the dates and what they're having. So ESL, by the way, haven't announced their stuff for this 27-28 thing. Yeah. Or maybe it's just 28 ESL hasn't announced, but it's one of these. And on top of what I was just saying there, Blast will also compete with some of the smaller ESL events. So you're never going to compete with a Krakow and a Cologne. So they're also going to go, like, they're all fighting for these little bits where PGL just is sticking to their guns on it. Now, remember, PGL took every L from ESL last time, right? And they just lost out. This time they're picking their battles in different ways. The calendar doesn't have enough space. I'll say this. It's not great for me. I work basically all PGL and all Blast events. So it doesn't, either way, it's not fun. It's not a great situation to be in as a talent, right? For the teams right now, they're eating good. They got plenty of choices, but everyone wants to go where the top events are. So one event will effectively be a tier 2 event because the ideal situation would be some top teams go here, some top teams go here, and they split it. But there's no such thing as that because they have their alliances. These owners of organizations and teams, they talk together and they make decisions together. Like, your big boys from the Vitalities, the NAVis, the Falcons, whatever, they're all coming together and they're saying, we'll go to this one. Yeah?
But
because that benefits the VRS points.
I understand it. And I'm, by the way, not shocked at all that this is, what came through your investigation. I'm sure you weren't either when you started it. Because, I mean...
I was just shocked. I was shocked when I saw players commenting. They don't do that.
No, usually not. But if there's... How do I put this right? So, if I compare myself to like different events that I've been to and different organizers, PGL has always made me feel the best treated when I've gone to them. Doesn't matter if I've been talent, player, whatever.
You haven't worked a BLAST event though?
I have not, no. But I have attended as a competitor.
Okay.
So I think that is a big reason of why people choose PGL. It's because they have almost over-offered in their way of treating like players, competitors, both with, it's like small things sometimes, just catering options, trying to fix things.
Yeah.
Sometimes with this big corporation, it can be a little bit like, oh, we kind of want this fixed. Oh, no, this is how it is. And it's just dot there. There's no like intention to fix something. Things are as they are because that's how they were planned. But I've always felt there's always been a reasoning or a way or an intent to make your experience better with PGL. And I think that's kind of what's shining through.
Well, the thing is, I want to wait and see also what ESL is going to say here, right? Because ESL, obviously, we already saw that tweet from Mark Wimfer when I spoke about Pro League, all LAN, all everything's good.
Yeah.
They're improving their systems as well, their circuit as well, right? But the thing is, I have to be very careful. I'm just going to be straight. I can't be picking a side or choosing something like this because I need to be hired by everyone in it, right? It's literally only Sponge himself who gets away with saying anything he wants about any TO and they'll still hire him no matter what's happening, right? But most of us don't have that luxury. And
the one thing I'll say, just to add on to it, it is interesting, just because of that point, that BLAST did invest 0.7 million to that team experience.
Yeah.
So it's obvious that they also recognized, okay, this is probably a problem and we need to step up our game and making sure that people have a better experience when they attend the event as a competitor. So I think that's interesting.
And this is good, right, for the teams in terms of everyone's going to have to level up their events. Everything has to go to a really a positive point, right, in it. But I'll say this. We've spoken about this many times. I'm worried for both BLAST and ESL because they are not family-run businesses. And what we've heard in the past, and I don't know if it's still true to this day, but PGL was the profitable TO. Yeah? Yes, ESL might have the best skits and the best content and the best flow of this, and then BLAST might have the best arena events and the best production, They've all got these different things of what they're good at with it. But what Counter-Strike comes down to at the end of the day, it's just the best teams and the best games. And if the players are playing the Counter-Strike in the best way that they can, whether that's the best computers, the least things they need to do. When I saw some people saying, though, like, oh, well, they should give them less media. And I'm like, guys, in normal sports, they don't do less media. They still have to do media. They got to do things like, we also still need the entertainment value. Like, I don't want to see that get knocked on the head.
PGL media is a dream.
It's not a dream for me, mate. I do 32 interviews and content pieces on my own.
It's the most time efficient.
Okay. Well, maybe that's what everyone needs to look at with it. But I mean, we still need the content for broadcast to entertain the viewers. Like there's me and you, and there's the players and the teams and there's the TOs, but there's also all the viewers. Yeah. The game is the most important, but some of the banging content we get from ESL, for example, right? The skits and stuff.
Yeah,
we love it. I love it. It's so fun to watch. Well, you want to take away all that?
No.
And also, the tighter all these schedules are, the flight between this event to this event, look how many shows we do for the podcast where I'm literally with you on a Sunday night and then flying to the next event the time after, or trying to get there's this turnarounds as well.
But we'll obviously have to wait and see how everything of this goes.
Yeah.
I mean, teams, players, they're going to pick sides now, but that's going to change very quickly, back and forth, and some going to prefer some are going to prefer the other.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's about what has the biggest... Like, sometimes an event can be really bad to attend, but it has so much weight in it. It's like talking about... okay, this is weird when I kind of voiced it up like that. Like, I'm not saying a Cologne is bad to attend. Absolutely not. But it has so much weight that it could be shit. And I'd still want to attend it because it's such
the prestige.
The prestige, it has so much prestige. And that's, I think, at the end of the day, is going to matter the absolute most.
But that's what also I feel like the TOs all now need to build, because we lived in an era for the last 10, 15 years where there was only prestige at majors, Cologne, and Katowice, and now Krakow. Yeah. Blast had that with the Royal Arena in Copenhagen, but that's now stopped. You know, the Royal Arena was building that legacy. And PGL, clearly with Cluj-Napoca and Astana, are pushing for that way with those two events. Yeah? But everyone needs to have one of their standout events that builds up some legacy. But ESL have got years way ahead of everyone else on that.
Yeah. You know, the funny part about the Colognes and the Katowices, even if I talk to, let's say, a viewer that watched Counter-Strike 10 years ago, everyone talks about Cologne and Katowices like they are always majors. Yeah,
they think it's that because they were in the past.
Exactly. Like, they are the majors. That's how people view it. And it's sometimes even viewers that watch the game now, that's the weight it's been put on these tournaments. Yeah.
But that's good marketing, that's good content creation, that's good pushing of how it's always been, right? The narratives we drive about how important Cologne and Katowice, Krakow now are to everyone, right? So that is all the narrative that we're driving all the time with it. And that's what these other TOs like Blast, like StarLadder, like PGL have to now build, right? Or try and build if they want to have a foot in the race of it all. But I'm going to say, like, as a talent, this is going to get real crazy, because, like, if I got to pick sides between the Blast and the PGL, first of all, I don't know where to begin. Both are incredibly good to me and loyal. But it's like, you only see certain talent. This isn't just about me, but you only see certain talent on PGL, certain talent on Blast, and then the ESL guys can kind of go wherever they want and do whatever they want. You know, there is a core group of people. Like, I'm not an ESL guy. I haven't worked in ESL since Caro 25. I haven't done any ESL events since then. And I'm not hired for any this year. So it's like, we're going to be in a situation as talent where you got less work, less stable incomes, so there's a lot of Wild West in this. There's a lot of Wild West and there's a lot of craziness. We'll keep following with it. We'll see what updates. Maybe now Blast see this, right? Because they must have an idea as well. If I can get this information, they've probably been told as well that they're going to have to try and step it up again. But there's got to be a limit to how far we go or what the situation is. I just thought this was very interesting. And then when checking in on it, people were very keen for one way over the other.
I'll be honest. I want to move on from this conversation. It's interesting. Yeah. It's, but there's so many question marks.
Definitely. Well, let's look at this, right? Astana.
Yeah.
Happening in May. $1.6 million prize pool. Absolutely huge, by the way. Full English in the arena, and basically 12 of the top teams outside of Vitality, NAVi, and I guess, is it FaZe missing as well? Who's in Atlanta? Because Atlanta's already been announced.
Astralis, FaZe, in the HLTV post, it's Vitality, NAVi, Astralis, FaZe, Gamer Legion, NRG.
Yeah, okay, so I'm looking at the actual invite. So from the top teams, Vitality, NAVi, FaZe, and Astralis, as well as FUT, are the ones picking Atlanta. Vitality basically had to pick Atlanta to make sure they get their extra Grand Slam. But, like, look at this. PARIVISION, Falcons, Spirit, G2, MongolZ, MOUZ, Furia, Aurora, all going to Astana. FUT did accept, and they were allowed to accept, but will potentially decline if they get their visas for Atlanta, and PGL have accepted this. Shout out to PGL, by the way. Because if you do this at like another event, yeah, ESL have done it before. You skip our event, you don't get it. You get banned from the next event as well. You know.
Yeah.
So it is cutthroat out there, even for the teams and organizations on it. And last bit of news before we get into our preview of Rotterdam. God, this is going to be a long episode.
Yeah.
Roman Imperium Cup. By the way, he's banging out events left, right, and center. He must be making money from this. From the sponsors, from how hype it is, the amount of good teams we're having in there. First of all, BC Game didn't win a game. They only won a default game. So let's just start with that. BC Game, the hype has died. Whatever money they paid, they're 40th or 39th in the VRS rankings. They lost to Alliance, Nexus, and OG in best of ones.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's been a complete waste of money. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
They bought a roster. They were major eligible with that roster, with that core, and they've just sunk like a ship that's been bombarded for hours. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Crazy.
Because, I mean,
crazy.
they were last in their group of Nexus, OG, and Alliance with them. Now, you could excuse them maybe getting third in that group behind Alliance and OG, but getting outbeaten by Nexus, a full Romanian roster. I mean, people will obviously know Cielo, played for Sprout, maybe Sound, but the rest of the guys, I don't really have that much knowledge on. It's a rank 117 VRS team.
Mm-hmm. And this is a LAN game, by the way.
Yeah.
And I know for Electronic and Simple, this is not your tier 1 event, it's not what you're used to, but also their performances wasn't anything amazing.
But this is the road to the major. If they want to be relevant, if they want to be in the invite zone, that this is what matters. You can't just like, meh, I want to be there. This is the road. Win these motherfucking games.
Well, I don't even know if it's even possible. I don't think it is possible. It can't be possible. They got to be cooked. And then Liquid are also in attendance for this event, right? Yeah. They had JL as a stand-in. He was filling in for the whole Nerds MOUZ situation while that was happening. They obviously desperately wanted to get some points. Their run wasn't like spectacular. They managed 4th place. They lost the 3rd place decider to Alliance. They lost to OG as well. They even lost to Gaming Gladiators in a best of 1. I was kind of excited to see JL back, and he had some good individual games, but I don't know where he ended up on it. Like he's quite far down on. But he's the 2nd highest rated player on Liquid, so that's not too bad. It's not terrible.
I don't think he played bad at all. That wasn't the issue. The problem I have with Liquid's performance is that they lost more games than they won in this tournament. They still managed to become 4th after, I think they won 3 games in total. Let's just look at this. They lost to Gaming Gladiators. They lost to Famalicão. Lost, and then they won against Bestia and Olibet. That's the 2 wins in the group.
Yep.
They won against Eyeballers, lost against OG, lost against Alliance.
They had a 7-0 lead against OG in one of the maps.
Yes.
NIP did go on to win that event as well, which puts their major hopes back to being alive.
Yeah.
So that's a positive for those guys. They're still grinding out in these crazy VRS events. But Liquid are now in Americas anyway, so they got some points they needed. One thing that was nice, right? So
the big winners of this event, by the way, is OG. They picked up 293 VRS points in this event, becoming 2nd. They reached, like, they upgraded their placements by 69 placements in the VRS system. So from going I think they were ranked 109th
Mhm.
and now ranked 51 in the VRS. Now, just to put some reference, if OG would get about 100 VRS points more,
Yep.
they would be above Liquid in the VRS.
Okay.
So they picked up 3/4 or 3/4 of the
Yep.
points to be above Liquid. Just
It's
to
not
put
bad.
it into perspective.
Not bad at all. That's a good run.
Yes.
All right, so let's get on towards the ending of our whole look at everything here. Blast Open Rotterdam. I was invited to stage host, do the Descos, get interviewing for that event, but baby's on the way. It literally is any time now to baby, and the event is happening in a few days. Starts on the 18th of March. So it is one I had to say no to. I'm sad to miss that. I want to go back to Rotterdam. I went there before with an ESL Challenger event. But you know what? People are going to look at this list and think it's crazy the teams there, right? But the invites for this event were like the February VRS rankings.
Yeah.
So like Vitality, Furia, Falcons, MOUZ, PARIVISION, FaZe was still up top at that point. Spirit, NAVi, MongolZ, Aurora, Liquid, Bait, NRG, NiP, Tyloo, and 9Z. So it's going to be an interesting event. It's a good
You want to
format,
hear
at least for
something
this one.
crazy?
Yeah.
Of this lineup, Liquid is the second worst VRS ranked team.
Really? What, Tyloo the worst?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Tyloo's the worst, and then Liquid. Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, Tyloo's 105th.
Yeah, and then
Liquid's
second
38.
worst, 38.
But we get G back on our screens. I won't be there to give him an ice cream, but I'll try and get MOUZ to give him one instead. Pass that on.
That's interesting.
For this event, obviously, it puts both Vitality and Falcons back in action. Furia and MOUZ, and PARIVISION, Spirit, MongolZ, Aurora, NAVi, all going back again into another event. In terms of what we want to look at and see here, right? It's obviously, it's going to find ourselves with the quarterfinals and the semi-final games. How many teams make it through again on the Opens? I think it's like one straight through, right?
But this is the shit format, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's 6 teams going through.
Yeah.
But it's 3 from each group.
For the playoffs, we're only getting 6 teams, which is always sad. It's what I don't like. I would like to see 8 teams there. It'd be the top placing teams from each group going to the semis, and then the second and third teams going into the quarters and fighting it out. Now, in Group A, we got Falcons, NRG, NAVi, Bait, FaZe, Aurora, Furia, Tyloo. Some potentially good matchups in there.
Interesting group, actually.
In comparison to Group B, where you have PARIVISION, NiP, Spirit, Liquid, MOUZ, MongolZ, Vitality, 9Z. Especially because Vitality and MOUZ are on the same side of the bracket for upper semis.
Kind of.
It is stacked. And I actually think this group stage is better than the playoffs bracket we're going to get, just in how this works out.
Probably.
So overall, we recovered on a lot of these teams, right? It'd be nice to see Tyloo again after so long, right? It feels like the highs of Fissure and the Austin Major are so far gone for Tyloo now, and the rebuild's just miles away. For a team like NIP, another golden opportunity for him after just getting a bunch of points for this win at Roman Cup. 9Z, God, it's been a long time. Kept some of their old pieces in there. Let's see what they can do here, especially as they've got a very important major coming up in the following years, at least for our Argentinian players. So let's just go down the matches, yeah?
Yeah. Falcons NRG. I mean,
kind of simple, right?
Group stage Falcons. Always gonna pick them.
Oh, I thought,
but they are.
I thought you were going to say like they could be shaky in the first group stage game, but that's good. You went the other way. I was jumping the gun.
No. I mean that they are good in the group stage.
So they'll dominate NRG for NRG at this point. NAVi Bait. After Navi's performance, I'm just going to pick NAVi. Surely. FaZe Aurora. FaZe.
There's no chance in hell. I'm not picking
exactly.
Aurora.
Furia, Tyloo. I'm going to pick Tyloo. Furia is messy.
They are shaky. Furia
and
is
it's
shaky,
a group stage game against a crazy Tyloo with their new player.
I'm still going to pick Furia.
Bro, you don't know about Zero?
Yeah, but
Zero, he's going to be the hero. 20-year-old Tyloo. Chinese superstar. I have no idea if he's a Chinese superstar. Just going to say.
I always think Tyloo make it competitive, fuck some round
and then it
up,
goes to shit.
and lose.
Yeah. I get it. I understand. I know what you're talking about. All right.
But they're not like a massive underdog. They can still surprise people, but I just don't think it's Furia.
I think Tyloo's going to take it. I believe in the Chinese boys.
All right.
PARIVISION NIP could be an interesting game, to be fair.
This one
if
is
it goes
very
to overtime, NIP lose. And it also depends on where PARIVISION is going to be at in just recovering and having time to get some time off and chill a bit. So who you taking?
But this one, I could argue both teams in different ways. But I'm still gonna pick PARIVISION.
Yeah, I'd pick PARIVISION as well. Spirit Liquid. Spirit. MOUZ Mongols.
This one is also very interesting.
I'm taking Mongols.
I'll pick MOUZ. I'll be the boring one today. But I think it's an interesting matchup. Depends how much dented MOUZ is. Maybe it was even a wake-up call, the quarterfinals. It all depends on how they kind of stumble their way back upwards.
That's what I want to see, how they pick themselves back up. And Mongols will take advantage if you are down. Mongols are unrelenting.
Yeah, but I can't hesitate on a MOUZ.
Okay. And it is group stage MOUZ.
Going to playoff, yeah.
Vitality 9Z. Oh, you know, that 9Z. 9Z has once in the past, back at an IEM Dallas, taken down Vitality. It has happened before.
Head-to-head 9Z actually winning.
You see. But this...
They are the breakers of
this is a different Vitality. So, Vitality are getting it. Vitality are taking it.
It's kind of tough when you get best of threes in the group stage against Vitality. So,
but that is a good sign. That's what we like to see, all these best of threes. So now we need to say our three teams are going to make it through. So from Group A, I'm going to choose NAVi, Falcons, and Aurora. I think Falcons go through first, Aurora and NAVi second and third.
I wanted to follow your train actually. I think Furia might struggle one more event and then pick themselves back up. I don't doubt Furia's ability.
But I also think Fallen's been somewhere, right? And they haven't been practicing.
Yeah.
This is where my mindset's going, is if he's been chilling for a couple of days and gone back to Brazil.
I'm also saying Falcons, NAVi, and Aurora.
But I can see a world where, say, like Furia and Furia and Aurora fight off for a spot. Furia could take it and still go through.
Yeah. I'll start with the Group B, since you started with the Group A. I'm going to pick Vitality.
To semis, yep.
Yes.
Next two.
And I pissed Banks off even more because I've fucked up the mic so many times that it's interrupted our entire recording. We're on the 7th try right now.
This is the worst episode we've had.
I think Banks have never looked angrier. He's obviously... He's had a moment to take a few deep breaths. I'm going to say once again, I didn't pick my semi for Group A.
Yep.
I'm going to copy your answer and say Falcons. Let's move on to Group B. I'm picking Vitality to semis. Yep. I'm picking PARIVISION and I'm picking MOUZ. So I'm skipping the Spirit one. Your move, Banks.
Vitality to semis, not semis, because I say the word correctly. Let's just start with that. And then Spirit and PARIVISION in the quarters.
He's just trying to get digs in whenever he can now. Just to make him feel a little bit better about me fucking up.
If you were here in person, I would have already hit you in the face with a bottle, this giant bottle, and poured water on your head. But luckily, you're far away.
I did not take suicide. I do not have a pill addiction. And I can swim and do not fall asleep in my bath.
You're just trying to cover every way I might try to kill you after this terrible episode we've had to film. Oh, it's fine. It's all fine. No problems at all. Not late at night. So overall event winners. Let's just go through that, right?
Vitality.
Finals, I think Vitality will make it again. And I think it'll be a Falcons one, which will be a great best of 5 to have in there. But I do think that every team right now is not just chasing Vitality, but like even further behind them. So coming into the Budapest major, we kind of thought that like it was more even, you know, Furious major to win. Now I feel like we're back in the universe where we're like, everyone is so far behind Vitality. Like the gap is big. The gap is very big right now.
The thing is, I'll also say, the thing is, okay, this is the hard part because MOUZ will automatically be in the bracket of Vitality if they go to the playoff. If Vitality win
no, they'd be in the finals with each other because they're in the same group now, so they'll be on opposite sides of the bracket.
No. That's not true.
Because it's not an 8 team. Yeah, it's not 8 team.
Since MOUZ, in my prediction, will be the third team going out from Group B because Vitality will beat them.
Yeah. You're right.
They would be on the same side of the bracket. So I cannot put MOUZ in a final. I can put Falcons, and I technically can put Aurora in the finals, and I'll pick Falcons over Aurora in that sense.
Makes perfect sense. And I'm putting Falcons and Vitality there, so that's, We are on the same boat for that. Either way, looking forward to Rotterdam. Looking forward to seeing what the crowd has to offer as well. I think that's going to be exciting because last time I was there was the Challenger event, which was quite a long time ago, an ESL Challenger. Guess who won that event, by the way? Just have a wild guess.
Rotterdam. Furia?
Nope. James, old VP with Daston and everyone when they were grinding Challenger events. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. Rotterdam 2022. That was it. Outsiders, they were back then.
So long ago it was?
Yeah, that's how long ago. That's the last time I came.
Wow.
I wanted to go back to Rotterdam. I'll tell you this, right? The Netherlands is such a beautiful, clean, friendly, awesome country. Like, it's probably one of the best countries in Europe. Yeah. I love Netherlands. And so I really wanted to go to Rotterdam, but wasn't meant to be. They 2-0'd Ents in that final. This was Ents with Dihar, Valde, Sunpire, Snappy, and your good old friend Madden.
Yeah.
16-8 on Dust 2, 16-14 on Vertigo. Back when Vertigo was still in the map pool. Teams that were attending, by the way, MOUZ were there. MOUZ, which was Frozen, Zertian, Dexter, JDC, Torzi. Eternal Fire, which was Paz, Immor, Zantaras, Woxic, Xflower when they made the stupid mistake to remove Major. Going through that crazy things. So yeah, long time ago in the Counter-Strike world. Yeah. So before we end this 6-hour, 75 stops and 95 microphone breaks of Devilwalk, Q&A time. So what have we got on the Q&A, mate? You got to lead me on this because you didn't put it in the document.
I will read them for you. So do you want to take the first one?
Which is the first one? Should the nationality of coaches be included? Okay, here we go. So Scorga.
Yes.
We had the Messi interview, so this was missed out, but I did want to ask. And we can't miss out on questions from Scorga.
True.
Should the nationality of coaches be included to break ties on the VRS region of a team before just going to the region with more spaces based on players? In Passenger UA's case, this would go for Americas to Asia due to the South African coach. I feel this would create additional importances on coaches, which they deserve sometimes, and unsung heroes, and also grow the player fan base from a different angle in other regions of the game. Liquid, if they picked up an American coach, would become an America's region instead of Europe. Sorry, Flashy. No,
I think no.
Terrible idea.
I think it's a horrible idea. I think it would be over abused in
players only
crazy sense.
Players only.
Yes, I don't like it at all.
Because some teams who don't need good coaches would just abuse it.
The way to raise the importance of a coach is if their nationality is American or not.
Yeah, that would be rough.
It's like high value American coaches for sale. Go to America's region.
They're just pimping themselves out to give a VRS spot up there.
Yeah. Go to the major. Get me into...
Oh, anything's possible. But yeah, I don't like the idea at all.
Botas asked, what percentage do you give Process to be back on the main roster by the end of 2026?
Look at this career. We need to post this image. We need this image posted here.
Major in 2026. I mean, his career is September 2021 to June 2023, Big Academy. Then up to Big from June 2023 to July 2025.
Not bad still.
Back to the Academy, July 2025 to August 2025. Then back to main roster, August 2025 to January 2026. Then back to the Academy, January 2026 to present. So there's history has been saying that there's a big chance. Yeah.
I can see there's a big chance. Big could make the major. I don't think he's going to fit back on this roster where they've got like Griggs and Blame F and everything like that as well. So, but we need to make sure our editor adds this image in just so everyone can see what you just said in a visual representation. So, FaZe potential roster move. Cubic is asking. FaZe potential roster move is an AWPer, but they're very hard to find, and potentially trying to find another young player that isn't Jacob or something else like that, man. I
mean, get FUT, get the coach Cooley in. They just minus Neo.
No.
That triple change.
Devil, leave FUT alone.
No, I'm just saying potential roster move.
Oh, by the way, Coolio is cool enough to not do that to his boys, even for the bag of FaZe. Boom.
All right.
You can bank on that.
That's my best option.
No, I'm so lost, Cubic, with FaZe that it's really hard for me to give you some potential roster moves, especially with just the lack of good AWPers. You just give them some young,
and the time of this recording.
Yeah, and also we are cooked. So Cubic, I think they need a young AWPer to come up and do some crazy damage. Devil said earlier in the episode maybe Hedrick, but now he's gone off the market. I don't know. Is there some other AWPers like up and coming that they can work with? But you also need them to actually deliver. There is plenty of talent coming up, but it's also a risk taking in somebody's talent. Yeah, it's a deeper conversation. Colin Dudd sent just a picture of, I don't know, what is that? A dodo?
That's not a question.
It's a dodo. But, thanks, Colin. I love the dodo. I feel as dead as a dodo because of Devilwalk.
Messiah Lion says, with this ESL Pro League win, do you think NAVi will make a roster change before or after the Cologne major? I think you guys mentioned something like minus bit before. I don't think. I don't. Well, first off, I know you have the facts here, but I will say no. I don't think they will make a roster change. I think they're believing in this. Unless something comes incredibly cheap, and I'm talking free transfers that would upgrade the roster. I don't think that they're willing to go into the market to buy off players to improve the roster right now.
And the win does help solidify that. I did mention the whole minus bit before. The minus bit was more around like him wanting to go with MongolZ, be on Falcons. I think that ship has sailed. I also think that Bit is such a star flagship player for NAVi that he won't really ever go anywhere unless he completely bots out or just doesn't want to keep playing. So I don't think they're even going to make a change after the Cologne major. As long as they make top 8, top 4 of them Cologne major, it's still going to be good enough for them, especially after getting this EPL win. That's how I would look at it. Snowy, same name as my dog, says, not CS related, but thanks. How was working with Bandai on Squadra Blast? So working with Bandai for the Dragon Ball Action Squadra event was awesome. The production company we worked with was full Japanese. They were so meticulous, so professional, on point, easy to work with, gave a lot of like focus to the ideas and things I wanted to add and do. honestly, considering I'd never worked with these guys before and it was all online, and they even had a guy translating for me in case I didn't understand anything that like Japanese guys were trying to say. Like, they dedicated a lot of resources to make that work, and it was fantastic. And if I'm invited back to do it again, I will come in for some absolute squadra action and enjoy and chill. Obviously, CS is my main focus, is always what I'll choose at the beginning, but I see a bright future for Squadra, and I hope that they will keep wanting to hire me. So if you were watching and enjoying it, let me know in the comments, because I don't know what the crossover is like between Squadra and CS.
All right. Shengite says...
Change it, basically. He's just left off the A.
No, I'm going the German version. Shengite. Thoughts on the G2 liquid swaps?
What are we doing? You can't say it, man. Oh, bro. That's done me in. That's fully done me in. His name is literally, for everyone who can't read this guy's name, because you're not in the Discord. By the way, join the Discord. His name is CHNGEIT. He's just missed off the A to be cool or whatever. It's change it. I'm pretty damn sure you don't say it. Don't say it anymore. The German way. Why the German way? You're Swedish.
It's Shengite. That's just how it's gonna be.
Is this how you read your teammates' names in game, where they've got some just missing words? And 100%. Of course. But to answer his question, we did cover it in the podcast already on the news. So look at the recent news. Oh my god.
I'm too tired. I didn't even realize it said change it.
It just buckled me. Jaffa Cast says, with Neo leaving FaZe, who do you think is the best replacement for FaZe right now? Devilwalk already said Freiberg, and I said Olaf Meister. I have no idea if Olaf Meister would be a good coach. I just think it'd be great vibes for the team.
What's the most pressure you ever felt playing professionally? I mean, a major final is a pretty good pressure point. Even though we were massive underdogs, I still felt a lot of pressure. But I also think a quarterfinal against, I think it was LGB back in the days, a lot of pressure. Because it was Swedish versus Swedish.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a battle for who is going to take that spot, you know, and be the second best Swedish team at that point.
Yeah. For me, it's kind of crazy because there's two moments. So in 1.6, I remember we playing a best of one. It's WCG UK qualifiers. We're playing against 4 Kings. First game of the whole tournament. It's like 10 a.m. And we knew, like, if you could just beat 4 Kings, yeah, you're not going to guarantee you're going to qualify, right? Still many more teams you're going to beat, but it's like the confidence we give you. It's playing against like the very best UK team. Natu was on that team at the time, who's one of the owners of ENTS.
Yeah.
And I started off with a 1v4 on Nuke in the lower B bomb site, clutching it out of CT side.
I just looked down on my screen and saw the Shengite's name.
Stop reading it again. Let's not go backwards. So I clutched out this 1v4, right? Got us the pistol round. Everything was going swimmingly. We were up CT side Nuke. I think it was 12-3 or 11. You're gone. He's actually gone again. I have to delete this guy's comment from it. Like, just stop reading it.
Move it from my screen.
Don't say it anymore. I'll read the rest of the questions because you can't be trusted. So we were up 12-3, yeah, against 4K. How's he still dying?
Oh, I'm so tired. Yes, go on.
I love it. The laugh. I'm now laughing at you because you're an idiot and you can't change it correctly. Oh, you good?
Yeah.
He's definitely not good. He's not good at all, guys. So we were up 12-3 or 11-4 CT side.
trying.
You can't. You're not trying hard enough. I'm just laughing at your
go.
face.
12-3. I know it. 12-3. Could be 11-4.
It could be 11-4. Oh god, this whole Q&A section could be this episode's cooked anyway because you broke it 7 times with your shitty settings and your terrible microphone. Not the microphone's terrible. He just can't set it up.
Let's move past it. Let's move past it.
Yep. So we had that game. We thought we were going to beat him. And then obviously T-side on Nuke is very hard. But I'll tell you the pressure we felt like, bro, after starting off so strong. I mean, I may have been like, I can't remember the numbers exactly, but I might have been like 18 for 4 CT side Nuke. I'm dominating. I didn't get a single kill in the T side. And I know I cost us that game. I mean, I didn't kill anyone. I was getting wrecked. I was getting spammed through walls. And you know the pressure I felt? Because when you were like, I was playing star mode on the first half. And then whatever happened, we got wrecked. And we ended up losing that game. I think it was like 16-12 or something stupid like that. And I felt like it wasn't just solely me, but I felt like I was a huge reason we cocked it up. So I felt massive pressure then. And I think I played bad for the rest of the event after that. And then the second time was when I was playing Virtual Fighter 5 in the grand finals. I had dominated and I thought I'm guaranteed my ticket to China to play in the WCG grand final, go to the main event and you're right. I got a silver medal in the end. I came second, but bro, I'd on a stage, all these people, and you don't have a team around you. It's just 1v1. So it's just me and the other guy. And I was sweating. I was nervous. And by the way, back then, commentators just standing by you with microphones in their hands. There's no, like they're literally just watching the game on the one screen you have, talking behind you in this massive auditorium. And that was terrifying. That was awful. And I cocked that up as well. You learn from these things though, that's for sure. Yeah. And that's the last question. So it took us a long time to get the last question answered because of your favorite person's name in the world. He's going to have to change his name on Discord. Otherwise, every time you're just going to buckle for the episode. So this was
trying to not look at Discord now.
Don't look at Discord for good old change its name. The devil can't say it anyway. So this was episode 54 of the All About Counter-Strike podcast. There was a hell of a lot we covered in here. I don't even know if people are watching this long into the day. Don't forget, every comment you make, every time you like the video, every time you just if you are a valid viewer and you're watching all the time, please always just write a comment, even if it's just some nonsense, and because it helps so much. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe because there's a huge amount of you that are watching every time that are not subscribed, and we need the boost. We're growing, we're going up there, so keep doing that. And
just
see you on the next. See you on the next episode after Rotterdam. I'm not going to let Devilwalk talk anymore. Episode's done. Peace.